I serve cold with the Wolves and the Hawks never shiver in the snow. The Bulls keep it running, the Sox run the South, the Cubs run the North, but the Bears run the house. True Chicago sports fans got their ears to the street. Any team make a move and they never skip a beat. And in this house, this is where we be. Welcome to the show with E-Rock and Big Z.
Welcome to Chicago. Coming from the True Chicago Sports Fan Cave, this is the TCSF podcast with E-Rock and Big Z.
Yes, sir.
Episode 113 is brought to you by 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirts. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your official TCSF shirts now.
They make great holiday gifts.
That's right. It's holiday season. Oh, hey, look who's that? As always, I am Big Z. And I'm here with my boy E-Rock. He's back again. What up, E?
I'm back, baby. What up, Z? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show. If you are a first timer or a long timer, please remember to hit that subscribe button, that notify button, and go ahead and give us a review on your listening app of choice. You can find us on Facebook at True Chicago Fans. You can follow us on Twitter at True Chi Fans and on IG at True Chicago Sports Fans. And don't forget, you can support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans. Go on over there, click on support, and you can subscribe for as low as 99 cents a month. Listen, do you like the show?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a fan?
Oh, yeah.
Now tell your friends, and they will tell their friends, and we can all be friends. If you enjoy the content, if we make you laugh or cry or just have any emotion at all, or make you want to throw things at the TV when you watch Justin Fields, share it with other people who feel the same way. Listen, today's guest is one of the hosts of the brand new show, brand new on the 606 family from the No Water on the Weekend podcast, Stephen Bautista. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on. I had a good time.
Did you?
Last time. I had a good time last time. I know you weren't there.
This is the first time you've been here with me.
With you,
yes.
yes.
Absolutely, man. It was good to meet you. It was good to finally, put a face to the name. And, I'm still working on a less classy version of the flyer that I presented to you guys last time.
Yeah, it was great. I liked it.
I'm working on some. I have a really cool idea that I just have to execute.
Right.
So when it comes out, I hope you guys be impressed with it. But it's in the works.
Just think of, if you go into my place when you come on to the No On the Weekend podcast, you'll actually see there's a banner in the back.
I saw the banner.
So then you sign it. So think of like emo, kind of like skeleton.
I got
that kind of font.
I got something very special in mind, and it just takes a little bit of time to execute.
No,
this is gonna be one of them ones where you'd be like, yeah, because I want this to be one of them things when you're scrolling on Spotify or Apple Music, be like, yep, I know exactly what that is immediately.
Right,
so that's the key right there, man. Anyway, it's good to have you here, Z.
Yeah,
I haven't seen you in a while, man. What's up, bro?
I don't know. You've been busy, man.
I've been too fucking busy.
It's like I feel like you're ghosting me. Like you're a hot girl. I've been ghosted by the hot girl.
Jose complains about you that I miss him.
I know. Well, I mean, like we spent a lot of time together.
Yeah, I'm like his second wife. Yeah, Kim. Oh, speaking of Kim, all right. So she posted. No, was it you posted the concert being canceled, right?
Oh,
he's playing right now.
Harry Styles?
Yeah, he's Harry.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just drove by it. I saw people packing up their tent because they got canceled, this and that. And then there was another comment, and I was like, she said something to him, and I was like, you leave my watermelon sugar alone. She's like, I don't like it.
Oh, man.
What you been up to, man?
Oh, man, dude, it's been crazy, without you. Work is starting to slow down. The kids are actually acting right a little bit now. It's slowing down just because I'm catching up to what the expectations are, what my limitations are, especially because they don't have supplies or equipment. So I did a whole inventory.
You sound just like Justin Fields.
I hope I'm not getting blitzed from fucking behind my blind side. Shit. So we'll talk about that in a little bit right now. But yeah. So they had no inventory. So this Friday we had PD day. So I spent the entire day. I went to AED training, which I'm already certified, but I went anyway. So I'm like, hey, you're paying for it? I'm going.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like it, I love it.
Yep. I love them both.
Right. And that's what I was saying. Like, if it's free, it's for me. I'll take 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not?
I was like, it was a firefighter that was doing it, and I sat in the back just because I didn't want to like overlap anyone's learning. I don't want to take over since in case no one's ever gone through this process. And I've been doing this for like 20 years. I've been CPR, AD certified, and all that, first aid and all that. So he stands right in front of me. He's a firefighter, and I'm like, fuck, he's gonna pick on me. So he was asking the questions, and I'm like, yeah, I know. And I was just like, he's like, oh, you're in charge. He's like, all right, you're in charge of quality control. I was like,
nerd.
Yeah, I was.
Teacher's pet, always.
That's what it sounds
Yeah.
like.
Hey, so what? Shit, I know my shit.
Hey,
You're not gonna fucking die on my watch.
Listen, someone's got to pet the teacher.
There we go. Hey, there's too many teachers getting fired for that. Speaking of school, I got beamed by a soccer ball in the back of the head for the first time in 13 years.
So wait.
Was that your first time playing soccer?
No. Oh. I was watching the kids in recess. It was 8th grade.
Okay.
And I had literally just turned my back because they had just put a new bench. They just built it. It's like a 3-person bench, and there was girls there. And I'm like, hey, the guys are playing football and the guys are playing soccer, and it gets away from them. Make sure that your head's not down and that you're watching that stuff.
Right.
So as soon as I finish my sentence, I get beamed right in the back of the head, right by the neck. And I kid you not, like it went dark for like a half a second, and all the lights on my dashboard turned on.
Oh,
All the lights, the headlight, the check engine light, all of it.
You had the tour.
Oh yeah, I had a tour. Yeah, I swear, I just stood there and I just froze, and I just like, all right, okay, I'm still standing. All right, got my extremities, I'm good. I didn't fall down.
until you started walking?
I was dizzy. Today's the first day that I'm not dizzy. Today's the first day I have no nauseousness.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, dude. I had to go to work because I have no insurance.
I'm on the same boat, but yeah.
But I mean, I just started the job, so it's like
that's 100% a mild concussion you got.
Oh yeah, why?
That's exactly what happened to you.
Yeah, and I told this rest.
I think what happened was the kid saw you turn your back.
No,
aim and shot.
No, it's the kid.
Because the thing is too, like you always know when someone has a concussion when they stand up and they look like they're about to start breakdancing and shit. They're like, oh yeah, you're gonna fall.
Or he start throwing gang signs like Tua.
Right.
Dude, that was crazy. You know what's fucked up is that when that happened to Tua, I thought his
fingers broken. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit, he's a Crip
or a blood.
Yeah, so I ended up spending the rest of the week going to work and with a concussion. I just literally had to tell the kids, I'm like, look, guys, no screaming today. No, I don't need to yell at you. Like, I'm gonna sit down because if I turn my head real quickly, I get dizzy. And it just, and that happened on a Tuesday. And surprisingly enough, on a Tuesday, exactly. I'll look for that. I'll be adding that song. Yeah, on Tuesday I have Tuesday Night Magic, my bowling league, and I had to bowl because I had no sub. Because if I go or don't go, I still have to pay. And I'm like, well, I might as well pay and play. So I was looking forward to it because we were playing Louis, Eric, Louis' girlfriend, and Louis' little brother.
Oh, Damien.
No, the other one.
Oh, that one.
The little one.
That one I don't know.
No, Damien's.
That one I don't know.
I actually have Damien's son in first grade.
Do you really?
I do.
That's actually amazing.
It's crazy. Oh, and Louis' dad showed up too, so it was like a family event. So
you mean like older Louis because he looks just like?
Oh my god, like he spit.
It's crazy.
He spit and he grew. Yeah,
yes,
it's insane.
Yes.
I mean, the whole family, all the boys look exactly the same.
100%,
yeah. So I had to go because it's it's a family event. I grew up together, and you grew up with him too. Yep. So I'm like, I was down like 40, 50 points each game. Because last week the week before I was bowling with 150s, 170s, 180s. I'm like, all right,
I was gonna say if it was the same consistency, I'm like, it wasn't.
Oh no. I bowled 112, 120, 122. I really couldn't find a lane. So yeah, that sucked. But you know what? Everyone's coming for the champs, and that's what I expect.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I get it.
In the pin.
I'm actually wearing my championship jacket too.
Oh, nice.
You gotta wear it. I mean, it was free. Why not? Well, free-ish, right? Because you pay fees.
Right, you pay fees, but I mean that's your trophy, right?
Well, yeah, you can say that, but we get a payout every quarter.
Oh, okay.
So you win your quarter, you get paid out. I think we all take in about $250.
Okay.
So it's a good payout.
Yeah, why not? I mean that shit.
This is a good league, sir.
That just pays for the beer.
I break even. Yeah, I break even because my job is always buy the first pitcher. I buy the first picture, so that way I'm done paying for shit.
Yeah. But like, did you buy? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
I always get the first picture, and that's the rules.
That's
I don't forget.
Yeah.
Even this thing that's been going on, this crazy thing that's been going on in the suburbs, this Stranger Thing house. Did you see about the news? You saw it?
Yes.
You see it?
I saw it.
Well, I was there last night.
What were you doing there?
I was going out there. I went out there.
We actually talked about going there last night. We were out in Fox River Grove for a family party.
Yeah, I was.
I know we talked about this on Friday.
Yeah, so we did. We did talking about Friday night. And ended up going, and it's legit, bro.
Yeah,
it is legit. This dude, whoever it is that did it right. Now
I know how they did it.
Oh,
I know how they did it.
Yeah, I mean,
magic.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly how. That's exactly how. That's the right answer.
He spent a lot of money. And they got a person with a table, and there's like hot chocolate. I don't know if it's got a little or not.
You can bring your own.
Yeah, or you can bring your own. Well, I mean, there's a cop car literally sitting right outside of it.
So you can definitely bring your own.
Yeah.
It's Joliet. Don't worry, it's Joliet.
You're not going to keep it right in front of the cop and pour it. You just
Some people are that really stupid, yeah.
Nah, you just get a fucking. I'll just bring that giant ass koozie you brought me today.
That's right.
Like, sir, is that three?
Or put it in a water bottle.
3 gallons of wine? Like, no.
It's grape juice.
Yeah.
So technically, yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's wine. It's grape juice. It's Jesus juice. So funny enough, you see the little girl hanging, right? And then right below they have the little graveyard. And I'm like, okay, I'm standing right there by the little fence because it's a graveyard. And I'm like, when is this kid gonna fucking move from the fucking tombstone? I want to take a picture of the tombstone because it's supposed to be Will. And I'm waiting, and then I go, holy shit. They made that fucking thing there to make it look like the girl. I didn't realize. I'm like, holy shit, they did an amazing job. I was fooled.
Yeah.
So they had that. They had the clock. They had like a bunch of the tarantula stuff.
The characters. The actual
actual fucking
mouth thing.
Yeah. They had a bunch of clowns.
I'm sorry, the mouth things.
Yeah, whatever this big mouth. I don't know. I like. Yeah.
Are you talking about the Demogorgons?
Yeah, there you
go.
Demogorgons.
Yes.
I'm acting like a dummy gorgon right now.
A dummy gorgon.
Dummy gorgon. Yeah.
So to be fair, my company that I work for, we do pinball games. We came out with a Stranger Things game a few years ago, and there is the big toy that's on the thing. We have a ramp that drops down, and you can shoot the ball into the Demogorgon mouth, and it's affectionately known around the office as a sex toy. So, yeah, I actually have one on my desk right now.
Whoa!
Yeah, I have one on my desk that we took off of a game that came back, and I actually took one of the Incredible Hulk's arms, and it's just kind of hanging in there. So, yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, I tried
take a photo of it.
I tried to install it under my desk, and they say you can't do that.
Where's Eddie? I don't know. He's busy. The door's closed.
He said it was in the bathroom for like 15 minutes ago.
It's a great display. They have the clowns, and then on the way out, they had and I didn't even see it till it popped up and shit. It's a sewer. Like it was about a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet high, and it's sewer. As soon as you're walking by, fucking Pennywise pops out of the sewer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then there's then you see little Georgie behind him. So I didn't really pay attention because there was a little girl giving out. I guess she lives there. She's giving out the candy as you're leaving. Here's your piece of candy. Thanks for coming. So then I was like, oh shit, I have to go back and take a picture with him. But it is legit, man. You've got to take the kids, go experience it yourself. The only thing is I would park about 2 blocks away.
Yeah. Right.
Because everyone wants to get close. It's like, just park 2 blocks away and take the walk because there's other houses that are very well decorated.
Yeah. No, I get it.
So,
I probably won't go, but yeah.
So a couple years ago, it might have been last year actually. So there is a map, and I want to say it's all the way. It's like Carroll Street. It's somewhere. It's far. Like it's straight down North Avenue. But if you go
not
there,
far from here.
But there is a bunch of displays, and you can literally they give you a map, and you go from house to house to house. But right there in Elmhurst, right down, I think it's right off of York and like Green Street, they have an entire display where you get Michael Myers, where you get Leatherface, where you get Chucky, where you get all these people dressed up. It's a whole family that does this. And last year they actually did it, I think, in the park in the middle of Bensonville. But they also have the displays where they actually would do it out of their home, and they have the graveyards and all that shit. I mean, like, it's amazing because you think when we were kids, like, you used to go to see like Christmas displays, right? Like Candy Cane Lane, and you want to go see that. Now it's like, all right, let me go see who the fake murderer is going to be. And there's a reason why I do not do haunted houses, because I have this mindset where, like, I'm like, what if somebody was like actually like a real killer, and they're like, I'm gonna go to this haunted house, and they make their way in.
They're not gonna do any background
checks, and they fucking hide in that. No, but I'm just saying,
you're hired. You like this shit, right?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying a patron.
Oh no, yeah.
Of
course.
And they fucking they're like, okay, I studied this. I'm like some fucking psychopath, and they're sitting there like they're stabbing folks for real. Yeah. And here comes some fucking kid all bloody, like out the front. You're like, hey, look at that guy.
It's part of the show,
right? And then you're like, oh shit. That's real blood.
On the next episode of TCSF X-Files and shit.
That's going to be an episode on Tales of the Crypt.
There you go. You should write that story. That's a great story, from R.L. Stein, Goosebumps.
Hell no. Not that.
Yeah, Goosebumps and Tales of the Crypt. They're going to call you tomorrow.
Shit out some diamonds over here.
Whoa.
I mean, you do have that Demigorgon or Demigorgon thing, so you're going to go.
Oh, man, let me wrap this up. Last week, I was on the May Peace Be With You podcast with Justin.
Namaste.
So namaste. That should be out this week as well. And look at that. I've been guest hosting for Sean, No One on the Weekend with Steven.
Right. Yeah.
And then our guest this week is our friend Sandra. On our show, Sandra.
Yeah.
Sandra came on. So he was saying that he wanted a female presence on the show, and I'm like, hey, Sandra. Let's pop that cherry and get you on the show.
It was great. I'm like, it's great that I have more female audience. I want to draw that more.
Yeah, so do we.
More crowd.
Yeah, so do we.
Yeah.
So Sandra from Red Wealth Management Company. So Sandra, thanks for coming on, and we'll get you on a sports podcast soon. As soon as you learn some sports.
that does seem to be the caveat for a sports podcast.
Yeah, that's right. So E, what you been up to?
So there's this thing that I've been doing. It's called softball. So then on Mondays we do softball. Tuesdays we also do softball. Wednesdays we take a break and we do softball instead. So then also the rest of the week we just do softball. That's what it is. We got the school league is over. The junior high league is over.
Thank God.
Which it wasn't bad because she gets to play with her friends, but also like I put the least importance on that team, right? And I know a lot of the girls that are on that team because I left the team that they still play on.
Right.
In their park league, and I'm like, there's a reason why I'm not there anymore. But it's funny to see me like come up to these kids who really don't know me as a coach. I walked up to that coach of that team the first day of the season. And I was like, look, or the first practice, I was like, look, I says, I'm the coach of, I've been coaching them for years. I'm the coach that's going to be, like when your practice ends at 5:00, I'm going to take them to the park and practice for another 2 hours. Like, so you establish who I am. So when I go to the games, like I'm the dude behind the fence. I don't interfere with the coaches, but I'm like, if I see a girl, like, especially,
hey, better.
Well, no, I don't know that. But I mean, it's one of those things where like, especially if it's a girl that I'm coaching, right? I'm like, hey, widen your stance, lift your elbow. You know what I mean? Hey, move over to the left, move back. She's gonna hit there. Whatever it is, like the little things, right?
Right.
And it got to the point, which is funny because it was like girls that I had never even coached before. Like I show up, it's already the second inning. They jump up and run to the fence and start talking to me and like, hey, do you know what happened here and this and that? And then like I had one girl that came up to me. She was like, all right, like, is this a good situation to bunt? And it's just funny because I'm like, okay, like it kind of tells me that like I kind of sound like I know what I'm doing a little bit because like right. Like, okay, like I'm not just like you should have hit them all.
Swing hard. Swing hard.
Which we do have a couple parents that do that. But yeah, just that. I mean, like, going more and more with the travel double headers on a Sunday. This next Saturday, I think Saturday coming up, we have a triple header. We have a double header in the morning, and then for the travel team, and then in the evening we have like a 4:00 game. So that's going to be
I'm exhausted by hearing that.
It is.
Oh,
I mean, and here's the thing. I'm not the player, right? I'm not the player. My daughter's the one that's playing.
Right.
So I mean. But I feel like right now in 7th grade, and doing travel, and this is that time where like if you're really going to be serious about playing this in your future, going into college, you're going to have to start posturing right now to be able to get into high school, because when you get to high school, you're going to have both East and West combining, and that's who makes up that team. So it's not just like East versus West.
No.
I miss those days. I wasn't around those days, but I'm just saying, I miss the rivalry
right.
between that.
And that's the thing
It's
is
like the
that
Cubs and the White Sox.
they're all right, and they're all one team, right? So they're all together, and that's how that works. So I'm like, hey, right now is when you hustle. This is when you show what you got, and you got to do it. So you got to learn.
Agreed. And what the problem is that you have a lot of parents that might move into the district, or they didn't have their child in junior high stuff, or even
they
travel.
can try out, but you got to make it.
But I'm saying that at that point you're already behind the ball. You're about 3-4 years behind the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what sucks about that, because I remember from my goddaughter, her school didn't have all that stuff, and then she's like, I want to try out for volleyball, and I want to try out for basketball, and I want to do softball. I'm like, yeah, but you play in these little park leagues that don't have any competition, and you have.
But at the very least, you have some type of background to understand what the sport is, right? Like that's the difference. Is that we still got girls coming in and they're like, oh, I want to play softball. Like, have you ever played before? I'm like, no, but I watched it on TV once, and I'm like, no, that's that shit. I'm like, nah. I mean, like, I appreciate you coming, but nah.
Right.
She could be a ringer. That
go
could
get
be
you a coach. Yeah, nah. But so that's all we've been doing. But we did last Friday. We got out of the house for the first time. Kim and I, we went to the Chicago Theater. I had never been there before.
I did see that. You went to see a
yeah,
comedy show,
that
right?
was really cool. Chris DiStefano. He is on Netflix. He has a special called Speshy Weshy. he's a big. He's funny because he's this like silly white dude who's married to a Puerto Rican, and they're from New York. And he was just doing his. That's a big basis of his show. He's like, I love the Puerto Rican women, and then of course someone came out like before one of the openers was talking about Humboldt Park and this and that because they get the background, and he's like, but it was cool. Like I said, I'd never been to Chicago Theater. When you walk in there, you're like, oh, this is really fucking old. Like everything.
Oh yeah.
Like in the seats, like you have to hold on to one of the arms so you don't lean over too far because the fucking everything feels like it's about to collapse because it's like.
And plus the seats are just as small as Wrigley Field.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're tiny.
Oh yeah,
they're tiny.
If you go, you better make sure you're with a friend because you're about to become friends real soon.
Right.
But I mean, it was a cool experience. Like I said, because I had never been there. I think my wife is actually going next month to go see Johnny Depp. He's going to be performing.
Oh, because of his band. Yeah.
Well, he's going to be performing with I think Jeff Beck, who is like he had a band in the '60s. I don't even remember who it was. But he's joining him on stage and this and that. I'm like, she's like, oh, we got the good seats for that because we were up in the higher balcony.
Right,
we had good enough seats, it was nice. But she's like, yeah, you see down all the way down there, like 15 rows, like when you can smell his armpits, like right there. That's where I'm gonna be. And I made sure I'm on the right side of the stage because that's where he's gonna be. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. But yeah, I mean that's essentially like the one thing that we've done that wasn't softball in the past like 3 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about it.
And then Riot Fest. That was following.
Riot Fest was cool.
You were both there.
Yeah, we're both there.
Was you really? Were you
Yeah.
So when you were talking about like bands and stuff like that, like weird names, and I heard you say Youngblood, I'm like, that's one of the reasons why I went.
Yeah. Was it
see him?
Mannequin Pussy.
Yeah, I didn't
Mannequin Pussy. That's what I said. I saw them last week at Target. Yeah, no, and that was the thing is that we were there. We were with the Frank Iota from Frankie Arrow.
Yeah.
From My Chemical Romance. I have no idea who the fucking this guy is. And
I would have known, and I would have.
You would have fanned out.
Yeah,
you would have fanned out.
I mean, I wouldn't have I wouldn't have bothered him, but I would have just said, hey, hi.
Well, we were hanging out backstage playing pinball, and he was just like, hey, it's the guy named Frank, like whatever. And then the fucking guy Jerry Only from the Misfits, like the fucking hardcore rock,
right.
Like the fucking spikes and shit. And I know the guy that organized the whole thing was like, oh my god, it's this guy. And I'm like, all right, man.
Yeah, that's my kind of music, sad boy. Sad boy emo.
Yeah,
that's me.
I was like, I don't have like I love music, right? I'm very, very musically inclined as far as like understanding music, but like screaming white dudes just don't do it for me. I'm like, no, that sounds very aggressive, and I've seen enough of that, and I know what happens when someone with brown skin just is around screaming white guys, and I'm gonna go the other way. Like that's what happens.
I get it.
But yeah, there was a lot of ripped fishnets and hairy armpits. That was as
Oh,
far as the
God.
eye can see. Oh yeah. Yeah, there was an interesting crowd.
Steven wasn't having
No, not the hairy armpits part, but yeah.
the fishnets, and you
That's
like
all right.
the torn fishnets.
Yeah.
I mean, It's okay. I'm not like, oh my god, yeah. It turns me on.
We're like, all right, somebody already torn him. What the fuck?
Got it to him before I did.
You know, one sad note about Riot Fest, Coolio was there. That was like his last show because he just fucking passed away.
Yeah, that was it. That was his last show. Yeah,
he passed away. I think like we're seeing he was
a week
in his,
later.
Yeah, he was found in like his friend's bathroom, and like they think that it had to do with asthma. Apparently, he had like a bunch of inhalers that he took with him. But my coworker who worked on the Sunday, like she saw him like just hanging out eating like chicken wings with his friends and shit. And like I was like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
he's like 59.
Yeah,
I mean his hairline was like 73, but his
wow. Anyways, one thing I did forget to mention is that I got to see Cristela Alonso.
Did you?
At the Den.
That's dope.
Oh my god, dude. She did a whole new set. She fucking killed. And guess who opened for her?
I know.
Joey.
Yes.
Joe, and I've been talking to Joey today all day today. Joey the clown. Joey. He opened for. I'm sitting there and he's like, oh, and here's our opener, Joey.
Did you not know he's gonna be there?
I did not know he was gonna be there.
I knew he was gonna be there with her. It was a show that
I thought you guys talk every day.
Not Joe. No, me and him talk.
Yeah, but if you knew, and then.
But I didn't know he was going to the show.
I didn't know I was going to the show either.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. I didn't know I was going to the show. It was just happened to go that way. But I mean, she killed. I mean, I swear, like I loved her Netflix special, and then
she got a couple of them.
Yeah, she has
I'm
to.
gonna have to check them out because it's going over my head.
It's just comedy. It's just
comedy show.
And she tailored her set obviously to Chicago. So she was talking about the traffic between Schaumburg and Chicago and all this other stuff, and that she loves coming here, obviously, but not right now because of the weather. So she's She's
I
a
would
Western
say
girl.
if it's not snowing, it's a great time to be here.
I don't even mind the snow. It's when it gets fucking cold in February.
I mean, you
like
got
genuine
a better
February.
car than I do, so I'll slide right off the road.
Well, I mean, you want to be Fast and Furious 12 over there.
I'm replacing Vince Vaughn. Not Vince Vaughn. Why am I saying Vince Vaughn?
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker.
No, not Paul Walker. What's
Vin
his
Diesel?
name? There you go.
Vin Diesel.
We're just naming actors now.
Yeah.
There you
The
go.
Rock.
Tyrese.
Hey, you are a sad boy, so you could be Tyrese.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
Sweet lady.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a cool episode this week. The boys and I are going to discuss the Ford Frick Award and talk about some of our favorite Chicago announcers. We have all of that plus stirring the pot and what you looking at. But first, this is the Big Three with Big Z.
Thanks, E-Rock. I'm Big Z, and you're not. Nope. Now for today's stories. Story number 1. A man is charged with smuggling pythons in his pants at the U.S. border.
Damn, how'd they find out about me?
Man, he's got a strong bite.
Is that a snake or you happy to see me?
That's not a bird. That's not a bite. That's herpes.
Oh, man. A New York City man has been charged with smuggling 3 Burmese pythons in his pants at the U.S.-Canadian border crossing.
This is great.
Oh, my God. Calvin Bautista.
Oh, my God.
I swear I didn't plan this. 36 is accused of bringing the hidden snakes on a bus.
So let me
Not on a plane, on a bus.
Let me take a pause right here. So Stephen Bautista.
That's my full last name. First and last name, yeah.
Who's your cousin Calvin? That's how that works. That's how that works.
I cannot say anything without my lawyer or representative here without me.
There we
I
go.
want to fuck up Calvin's case.
Oh, importation of Burmese pythons is regulated by the international treaty and by the federal regulations, listing them as injurious. Is that right?
Yeah.
There we go. To human beings. I don't even know what injurious means, but if it's a federal case,
No, it means that this is something. The reason that it's regulated is because something that it could injure a human. That's what it's saying. Injurious to. It's.
I was thinking it could fuck up the ecosystem. That's what I was
to
thinking.
human beings. I mean, I guess you're a part of the ecosystem, but
Yeah.
I mean, your carbon footprint.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what this means.
Batista's run a little reckless. I don't know. What
They like to spread our seed.
Like I did see that on WWE.
Oh, man.
no, I'll say that I would love to be related to him. Maybe somewhere down the line we are, but I don't know.
No, I promise you are. That's essentially how that works. Like anyway, if you have the same last name as someone else, like someone in there fucked someone else. That was
Yeah, but I know that's it's also a Filipino name.
which is
And-
from Spain.
And yeah, that's
That's all that
essentially
matters,
what
yeah.
it is.
Right, but
So
I'm just saying
here's
it's
the thing you gotta.
crazy to see different cultures and nationalities. You know, I wouldn't assume that would.
Here's the thing you got to remember: England and Spain basically colonized the entire world.
They spread their seeds.
Right, exactly. So, and France was a little bit. So, like, that's why if you go through the Caribbean, you notice all these black people that speak Spanish. Black people don't speak Spanish. You know why they speak Spanish? Is because the Spaniards took slaves
And
from
dropped them
Africa,
off there.
and they're like, all right, you do this, you do this, you do this. They got to Jamaica, and they're like, yeah, there's not enough here. So England came in and took over. England literally came to Jamaica and saw the Spaniards. He's like, hey, we want sugar cane. He's like, yeah, fuck it, we don't want it. And that's how. That's essentially why you have a town in Jamaica called Ocho Rios. Like, think about that. You think the British came up with that shit? No, it didn't happen.
The more you know.
And happy Columbus / Indigenous Day.
That's right. Right on time, baby.
Serendipity on both sides of that story there.
All right, I'm gonna look into that article. A
You're
little bit
23 and me.
Here, you want. While you're doing that, look up Captain Morgan. That was a real guy, and he was a piece of shit.
more. Do you drink Captain Morgan?
No,
Oh.
because he's a piece of shit. Also, I don't like it.
You're like, I don't like space. Wait,
No,
I mean Jamaican rum is spiced rum too.
No, it's not. No, sir.
It's not.
Nope. No, sir.
Jamaican rum is not spiced at all.
No, not like that. You got like Kraken. Kraken is a spice rum.
Yes.
Sailor Jerry's a spice rum.
Right.
But yeah, and those were all just kind of like, runoffs of Captain Morgan. The Captain Morgan was actually a fucking actual real pirate that like raped and pillaged like a bunch of people, especially in Jamaica. So fuck that guy.
A lot of people thought it was Johnny Depp.
Wow. Story number 2. Wow.
You heard?
Yeah, Florida highway was covered in Coors Light beer after a semi-crash. Sorry, E.
All right, how many Puerto Ricans were involved in this?
A Florida highway has a temporary close on Wednesday after a semi-trailer carrying cases of Coors Light crashed and turned the roadway into a silver sea of beer cans.
I mean, the
I would have spent
illiteration.
my
Can
whole
you
weekend
imagine how
there.
many Puerto Ricans are over sipping the pavement?
Hey, Papi, let me use a straw. No, not that straw. That's the other straw.
Oh, man. The multi-vehicle crash occurred shortly after 6 a.m. in the southbound lanes of Interstate 75, about 30 miles north of Tampa.
I've driven that.
So,
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
was your dad out there?
No, he wasn't. He was at home. So the hurricane almost got his ass.
Yeah.
Because he lives right outside of Tampa.
It
And,
clipped him, right?
Yeah, the last minute, like he was like, oh, the neighbors came and helped boarded up the windows and all this shit. And I'm at work with the 2 screens, and I got the radar on one, and I'm literally watching Tampa news at the other on the other screen. And my boss comes in, hey, what's going on over there, Tommy Skilling?
The store was called.
Well, the cumulus clouds are coming down.
Well, that's what I said. I was like, well, actually, my dad lives right there, and he might die. And he was like, oh, okay, well,
Here we are.
it was Storm Giselle, right?
No.
Oh,
That's Tom Brady's issue.
oh man.
No. So it literally like dipped down, clipped, it fucked up Fort Myers, which is completely gone. But he got nothing. They got rain, and that was it.
I mean,
lucky.
what would you do if you saw somebody just flip over and it's just beer cases everywhere?
I mean, I don't really like Coors, but I'm not picky if it's free. So I would, pull over, run on by.
I mean, I'd check on the driver first, and then I'm like on the way back, pick up a couple cases.
No.
I mean, you just gonna come in here and just insult the beer that we drink on every show.
I mean, I brought in Pacifico, so
I mean, I understand that.
I didn't know that was the beer you drink.
No, I mean, I don't.
Oh, I was gonna say, like,
You know what beer I drink? The one that starts with B and ends with R. Okay,
Oh,
that's beer. That's all beer.
yeah. No, I got it. They all taste the same anyway.
No, they don't.
I'm just kidding.
Oh man.
No,
You're like, man, how much? You're definitely not
Sir,
drinking any water on the weekend.
there's
if
the
you're
door, sir.
Shit. I'm over here. I'm like, I know I got a bad in here somewhere.
There's a bunch of them in
Or
there.
or a pamphlet for AA.
Come on, beer's not alcohol, especially not Coors.
No, not Coors.
That's how I stay hydrated.
Exactly. It's purified water. Story number 3. And I think Steven might have talked about this on this show.
We always run back and forth. And
We
it's
do.
funny.
We do.
It's funny. We don't even talk about the articles that we pass.
We cross over a lot.
Cross over, yeah.
Okay, well there you go.
There you go. Well, don't cook chicken with NyQuil.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no, you heard that
this.
right. Do not cook your chicken in NyQuil. The FDA warns after the TikTok challenge spread out there, cooking your chicken in cough medicine, which is NyQuil, is not only silly and unappetizing, but can also be unsafe, according to U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Can be. What do you fuck you mean can be?
Well, if you put too much of it, Obviously.
Or how about if you put any of it? That's
Right, well,
It's
yeah.
like then you're fucking having Jaeger.
like you're back. Like
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, that is true. That is true. Like, here comes the pump bottle.
But
of
also, like,
NyQuil.
if you're pouring the whole bottle, it doesn't say, "Oh, just pour like a whole cupful." No, it's like they're probably pouring the whhole bottle, and that's the issue because, like, it's like the little Wayne drink, right?
Do you know what's funny is that when I was teaching on the west side, and the kids are like, "Oh yeah, come over to my house. My mom's cooking chicken tonight. She's gonna fry it up." I'm like, I don't know.
with NyQuil.
No, they would clean the chicken with bleach.
What?
I've heard of this.
They wash the chicken in the sink and they pour bleach to clean the chicken.
That's disgusting.
No, that's
So-
not even safe.
So here's the thing though, and as someone that worked in the kitchen before, you're not supposed to like wash chicken at all. You're not supposed to take chicken and put
Or
it
your
under water.
vegetables.
Like, well, vegetables, like you have some pesticides and shit like that. But I mean, like raw meat, you're not supposed to like put it under the sink and wash it with water because all you're doing is splashing
Spreading it.
anything that like any microbial like thing on the meat is gonna get cooked out and get killed, right? And so the thing is that all you're doing when you take a piece of raw meat and put it under the sink, all you're doing is splashing whatever bacteria onto the surface of whatever the fuck else you're doing. Now, one thing that I did discover when I used to do the appliance repair. A lot of people, usually like in black community, they will put bleach in their dishwater like all the time. And I'm like, that's probably don't do that. I started doing that shit, man, because I'm like, okay, well, if I have a tub of like dishwater, like hot water, I'll put like a little cap full of bleach in there. I was like, well, fuck it, it's going to sanitize it. I mean,
I mean,
I got a solution for that. Plastic plates. Gets rid of everything. So,
oh, yeah, no. I thought you were going to see drink the bleach first.
plastic plates, man.
one for you, one for me.
Like paper? You mean like paper plates? I have plastic plates, and those absorb more.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
if
no.
you get plastic, they're a little bit thicker than paper plates.
What are you talking? What are you talking? Like
the
disposable?
hefty. Yeah, disposable.
No, yeah, but those are not plastic.
Some of them, the new ones, the ones I have, they're like a little bit thicker, but they're a little bit more
This
expensive.
is how I know you ain't got
But
no
paper
kids.
plates.
You got no kids, do you?
No.
Because how the fuck I'm gonna buy plastic plates? If I buy one pack of 50 plastic plates on a Monday, that shit will be gone by Monday.
Yep. But
Like
also,
all of them, they're like, oh, I'll just take
no,
these
I live
and throw them
alone.
in the trash.
I live alone. Those
Oh, yeah,
things
see.
last me at least 2 weeks, 3
Yeah,
weeks.
you don't. So you don't rinse them off. You just you don't. You
No,
reuse
I don't rinse them off. No,
Oh,
I just throw them away.
You're a psychopath.
Someone
Well,
likes
you
to
could
waste money.
That's exactly what that is.
Or money or time. Both
No.
are very valuable.
No.
Yeah, both are value, and he's way more single than I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like so yeah, he spends a little bit more.
So Jose, what are you doing this weekend? I'm kind of by myself. You want to hang out, do a podcast?
Yes.
Oh, dude, no,
Oh man.
no, that's aggressive. That's aggressive singleness.
Oh my god. These fucking guys. I'm Big Z, and that's News to Me. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Hey, this is comedian Ken Garr, and I was just a guest on the True Chicago Sports Fans podcast with Big Earl
E-Rock.
and G-Money and a bunch of weirdos. So tune in!
Welcome back to the TCSF podcast with E-Rock and Big Z, and today's guest.
Stevie B.
There it goes.
There we go. Spring love.
All right, y'all. So today's topic is going to be the Ford Frick Award. This is an award that's presented annually for broadcaster for major contributions to baseball. The award, named after the late broadcaster, National League president, commissioner, and Hall of Famer, has been presented annually since 1978. Frick was a driving force behind the creation of the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, and he helped foster the relationship between radio and the game of baseball. The award is presented annually during the Hall of Fame weekend. Each award recipient, not to be confused with an inductee, is presented with a calligraphy of the award and recognized in the Scribes and Mikeman exhibit in the library of the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
Mel Allen and Red Barber were the first two recipients in 1978. A single winner has been selected every year following.
Yeah, so I mean, there's quite a few guys that have won this award with Chicago connections. You go back to 1978, you talked about Mel Allen and Red Barber, but right away in 1979, Bob Elson, who was an announcer for both the Sox and the Cubs, won the award.
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of crossover between the Cubs and Sox, so you'll see that coming up.
Yeah, 1983, Jack Brickhouse, who was both the Cubs and the Sox. I mean, I have the Jack Brickhouse vinyl right here, the greatest moments in Cubs history. You go down the list. I mean, you got guys from the Cardinals like Jack Buck. I mean, as much as I despise the Cardinals, you got to give him his recognition.
Yep.
In 1989, Harry Carey was the recipient of the award. Again, Cardinals, Cubs, and White Sox. You got guys like Joe Garagiola from NBC. He was the one that was always on the national broadcast. You go down a little bit. Let's see here.
Bob Uecker.
I mean, look, Bob Uecker, just a bit outside. I mean, like right there. That's all you need to know. You got Marty Brennaman from the Reds. I mean, we all know him. Harry Callis from the Phillies is another big name. Tim McCarver, who was on the Mets all those years.
Yep.
Dick Enberg, who was everywhere.
Huge.
I mean,
Huge.
everywhere in baseball. Of course, Bob Costas in 2018.
That's homegrown right there, Bob Costas.
That's right there. So and Al Michaels, Ken Harrelson, your boy, right there in
the Hawk.
2020.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so this year's nominees are these are the 10 finalists for the 2023 Frick Award are Dave Campbell, Joe how do you say this?
Castiglione.
There you go, that guy. Kerry Cohen, Jacques Doucet. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, probably Jacques Doucet, but yeah.
Doucet? Yeah, it's French. It's whatever.
Oui.
Then Tom Hamilton.
That was a hard one.
Yeah. John Harworth.
That's Jerry.
Oh, that is Jerry. And we're back as we used to be. Our favorite guy, Pat Hughes.
Love him.
There we go.
Ernie Johnson Sr.
Ernie Johnson.
That's right. Dwayne. Is it Dwayne or Dwayne?
It's Dwayne.
The Rock Johnson. Oh, wrong guy. Cooper?
That's Cupier. I don't know.
Go with Cooper. And our favorite guy on both sides of town, Steve Stone. I mean,
It's a great list.
It's a great list.
all the way around.
I mean, let me just
Was
finish.
there another Bautista on there or no?
No, not this time.
Oh, okay.
No, he's only
that was the
snakes.
Snakes.
Gotcha. I thought maybe another one
That
could
was
be
the
a great
snake
announcer.
handler. Snake handler.
Yeah.
Talk to me in 10 years.
Yeah, the winner
I'll
of
do it. I'll be there in 10 years.
the winner of the 2023 Frick Award will be announced on December 7th at the baseball winter meetings in San Diego, and will be honored during the July 22nd awards presentation as part of the July 21 through 24th weekend Hall of Fame in 2023 in Cooperstown. All of the 2023 Frick Award candidates are living except for Johnson.
So do you know what San Diego means?
Discovered by the Germans in 1904, they named it San Diego, which of course in German means a whale's vagina.
No, there's no way that's correct.
I do.
Whale's vagina.
No.
Oh, I'm Anchorman. Legit Anchorman. San Diego?
It's
San Diego.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a saint.
Yes.
Saint Diego.
Mm-hmm.
I can't translate Diego into English. It's one of the one names, like very few names that you can be like, yeah, this is that in English. Like, no, this is just Diego.
I went to Jose de Diego. So,
See.
All right, let's focus on our local nominees. First off is Pat Hughes.
Pat Hughes. I mean, look, who doesn't? Even if you're a Sox fan, you know exactly who Pat Hughes is.
Oh, yeah.
He started back in 1983 performing as a TV play-by-play man for the Twins, after which he spent 12 years in Milwaukee for the Brewers. He also spent 17 years as the radio TV game caller for Marquette University basketball. In November of 95, he was selected by WGN Radio in Chicago to be the new voice of the Cubs. He partnered with color commentator, my favorite, Ron Santo, the former Hall of Famer who, you know, we covered. Let me tell you about his Hall of Fame shit, but anyway. So from 96 until Santo passed away in 2010. Their on-air chemistry came to be known as the Pat and Ron Show.
Facts.
In September 2003, he was the MC at Wrigley Field when the Cubs retired Santo's number at the last regular season game. Besides Santo, Hughes has worked regularly on air with as an on-air partner with Harry Carey, Bob Uecker, and Al McGuire. One of Hughes' best-known calls came at the end of the 2016 World Series when the Cubs ended their 108-year World Series drought, the longest in baseball history. Why the fuck did you put that in there just to?
Yeah, I know. I don't like that.
Because we're stating facts, sir.
Well, you're at 25, I think.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Oh.
I just put the facts down.
Take a breath.
I just put the facts down. Hey, you won the championship.
A little bouncer slowly towards Bryant. He'll glove it and throw it to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. The Cubs come pouring out of the dugout, jumping up and down like a bunch of delirious 10-year-olds. The Cubs have done it. The longest drought in the history of American sports is over, and the celebration begins.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Not because you did it, but because I know the call.
Especially when I
He is also known for the call of Mark McGwire's 62nd home run in 1998, which broke the single-season home run record, which is most often played call of the moment.
I mean, that right there, that tells you how iconic his sound is. The dulcet tones of Pat Hughes. I mean, the way that he describes the uniforms, the hats, the jerseys, the color, down to the piping. I mean, like,
yeah, it says piping, right? Yes,
like
he does.
It's down to the piping, and it's funny because when you hear the Bears broadcast, you hear Joni does it, and he throws it over to Tom Thayer, and Tom Thayer's like, yeah, it's purple for the Vikings, like, and he just he's always caught off guard, right? Yeah. I think Tom Thayer's losing it a little bit. Like, if you hear him, like,
maybe a little CTE,
there's something going on there.
Maybe.
Yeah. He's slowing down. Yeah, he's definitely slowing down.
But anyway, let's talk about his achievements over the years. Back in 2012, he was inducted into the Branham High School Athletic Hall of Fame. In 2014, he was inducted into the WGN Walk of Fame, only the third sportscaster to be honored. In 2016, he received the Ring Lardner Award for Excellence in Sports Journalism in the broadcast category. In 2017, he was inducted into the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame in New York. And in 2017, the National Sports Media Association awarded Hughes with the Illinois Sportscaster of the Year. The National Sportscasters and Sports Writers Association has awarded Hughes 9 Illinois Sportscaster of the Year awards in 96, 99, 06, 07, 2009, 14, 15, 17, and 2019, in addition to 3 Wisconsin Sportscasters of the Year awards in 1990 through 1992. He was also a finalist for the Ford Frick Award in 2016 in conjunction with the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. And he also, on August 24th, it was announced during the broadcast versus St. Louis that he will be inducted into the Cubs Hall of Fame with his plaque to be unveiled on September 10th. That was absolutely amazing. He was completely caught off guard. I mean, considering the fact that a guy with so many accolades was just caught off guard, like, hey, you were there for every crucial Cubs moment in the last 30 years.
Yep.
You're in, bro. And he was like, he saw the emotion. But I will say this. I always talk about the fact that as a kid, I didn't watch baseball. I didn't care about baseball. And that 1998 home run race between Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire, and hearing Ron Santo and Pat Hughes talk about it. That's what drew me into baseball. I still remember the day that Ron Santo passed away, and I was going to physical therapy, and I pulled up into a parking lot and I cried. Yeah. It was cold outside. It was winter, and I remember but I also remember other moments where he was so excited in 2003, and I'm like literally in the car, like punching the roof of my car, like, oh my God, like it was so exciting. So along with Ron Santo, Pat Hughes was literally the voice of my love. No, not my childhood, because I wasn't a kid.
Yeah, you were
But
late already.
they were the navigators for my love of baseball.
And the thing is that when you listen to the radio, they're telling you the story because they have to paint the picture. Yeah, and so it is very descriptive. And then even your color guy has to be more descriptive and more analytical of describing what they're doing. It's crazy. Like just like you said, the piping on the uniforms. All right, well they're wearing blue piping with white uniforms and red across their chest. Whatever it is, right? So it has to be a beautiful picture. It's 1:20 and it's we got Cubs baseball and it's a beautiful sunny day. It's 73 degrees.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you're hearing.
Every time he comes down, he goes from beautiful Wrigley Field.
Yes.
Cubs baseball is on the air. Like
Yes.
I'm sure I butchered that, but I mean, like it just, he knows how to start the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just a broadcast. It is a show.
Yes.
From the time that he talked, I remember how much shit Ron Santo would give him for Pat Hughes wears the ugliest sweaters in the world. Like, it's like he went deep into Jamarcus Russell's sweater closet, and he was like, "Is that one ugly?" Yeah, and he was like, "Where did you get that?" You know, I mean, Ron Santo, he's giving so much shit. I remember when Ron Santo's hair caught on fire in the thing, and they to this day. So now,
or when he caught his privates in his zipper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was all of these moments right there, and I will tell you again, like that is the reason why I love baseball, why I love Cubs baseball, and I mean, like Pat Hughes is a huge part of that.
And I think I had the same experience. Like growing up, my mother is a big time Cubs fan.
Okay.
So like riding in the car with her back when she, like on a Saturday or going somewhere to somewhere on the weekend. It was on the radio.
Yeah. That's
what she was listening to, and I was listening to it, and I would hear everything, and she'd be the same thing, pounding the roof of the car. And, that's why, like, when I came on the podcast with you, with Z, the first time, he asked me, like, how did I fall in love with the Cubs?
Yeah.
It's a great moment. A lot of the things that I'm a Cubs fan, a Bears fan, she taught me how to love the team. And ride it out.
Cubs and Bears are synonymous. Let's be honest. The Cubs fans and the Bears fans are very synonymous. They understand what is the struggle, and then they're diehards,
right?
100%.
Right.
It doesn't matter what the season's going to be. They're like optimistic. Oh, the Bears they're going to take it all. Sir, they got 12
There's
players.
Some Bears fans
There's
right
12
now
players on their team right now.
Right. But like I said, with the Cubs, like it's just like things like that where growing up with that, and then when Ron Santo passed away, the first thing I did was I went to my parents' place because that year I met him and he signed my Cubs hat. So I made sure that it was still at my parents in a container. So.
And that's the thing is that like I am not an autograph chaser. I mean like it's. Cool.
I mean he was there and I'm like, well, why not?
Right. And, and it's a cool thing to have. Like I have random ones here, and I mean I don't.
Yeah, I gifted you one.
I think I have that. Yeah,
that's probably one of my favorite autographs from second to Ryan Sandberg. To meeting Lee Smith and just out of nowhere,
I have that one there,
and I had to run and go get a baseball. I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna sign this for me?
Yeah.
You're gonna be in the Hall of Fame like in a couple years." And then as a Christmas gift, I'm like, he's gonna appreciate it way more than I am.
I mean, that's a really good friend.
That's the one that's up there.
No, it is. It's in a perfect spot, which is you can't see this, ladies and gentlemen, but it's a square.
It's a cube.
It's a cube, and there's a hole in the middle of the lamp, and it fits perfectly in there.
Just how it worked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the studio.
So it's just my biggest thing is like, up to bat is Wilson Contreras.
That drives me nuts. Like, where in that name do you see Cone?
Yeah, that
Contreras.
But that's
Wilson
how he
Contreras?
pronounced it. You know what? I'm pretty sure the producer's like, that's not how you say it. He's like, well, it's Wilson Contreras up to bat.
Yeah, and
Wilson Contreras.
Yeah, and that's always his thing. But I mean, like literally, like you rarely hear him make a mistake.
Right.
You rarely hear him trip up. The only other person that I ever remember that was like that, and I mean, again, I'm talking about just general like announcers that I remember from Chicago sports, was Dave Juday. You know Dave Juday? So Dave Juday did the Sports Center announcements for ESPN forever, and I mean every hour, and I mean it was absolutely perfect. He never mispronounced a name. He never stuttered. He always had the script. I mean, like he was amazing. amazing. And now he's like in Arizona, and the only reason he's in Arizona because they stopped, local ESPN stopped doing the Sports Center updates.
Yep.
But I mean, that's where Sarah Spain started.
Yep.
That's where a lot of these people,
Right.
that you even here on the air now, that's where they were doing it. They're like, okay, well, you're the update guy, you
Yep.
know? But that was the thing, is that you never, like, and you hear it as corny as it is. You have the Pat and Ron show back now because you got Ron Coomer and they had Keith Moreland for a while, and they were like, oh yeah, former Cubs Hall of Famer Keith Moreland. He was boring as dog shit. Like, you're like, man, I'd rather listen to the dog shit. It's like, what does that sound? Is that steam? Yep. You know what I mean? Like, but Ron Coomer, he's fucking funny. I mean, like, Ron Coomer, when he played for the Cubs, he was a little chubby guy. Now he's a big boy. He's a big boy. But but yeah, I mean, they have the rapport that Ron Santo and Pat Hughes had, and the little jokes and they play the attendance game and the banter. I mean, it's just, they're such a good fit, and I feel like Pat Hughes is that reason, because he found a way to take 3 different former ball players from the Cubs and make them sound good.
Right.
He's your Vince Scully.
Oh, 100%.
He's your Vince Scully.
Yeah.
He can call a game by himsf if he had to, and he has called games by himself.
Right.
He's done it a couple times.
So I'm saying, like,
Especially with Ronnie.
yeah,
Because Ronnie had the issues.
Yeah, but
he had
exactly.
with the diabetes and all that.
exactly.
Yeah.
So he is your Vince Scully, where he can do both. He can crack a joke while still calling the game at the same time. That is skill. Like, there's
that shows how much he's been in the industry and doing it.
for him it's like walking.
Yeah.
For him, it's walking. He's talking. He's probably doing 3 other things at the same time.
Yes.
He's filling out his scorecard. He's looking at the stats, and he's calling the game. That's impressive. That's impressive. I mean, we did it for the charity game. We're like, all right, we got. Who's this guy?
But that was part of the fun.
We were trying to be funny though.
That was part of the fun of it. But like, all right, here comes number 7. What's his name? Nobody cares.
His mama misses him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, one thing I will say is that you think about a guy like Pat Hughes, who was with the organization, who was the catalyst for so many Cubs fans to feel the emotion that you have, because you can watch the game all day. And the funny thing is like, when it comes to like TV announcers, when you come with Joe Buck and Aikman and Chris Collinsworth, they always talk shit about Chris Collins. Now here's the guy. Yeah, here's a guy. Like, that's how he starts talking.
Yeah.
Like, my dad has phrases that he, you know what I mean? He's like, the thing that my dad says, and the thing is this, right? I have
You do the same thing.
I do something similar to that.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
what it is.
I get that. Yeah.
But you think about these guys, and like I said, I always I don't harp, but I always like kind of like shit on people who talk about TV announcers. They're like, well, he ruined the game, and I'm like, the announcer has no bearing on TV what happens in the game. You either enjoyed what you saw on the field or you didn't.
That's the whole Joe Buck thing.
That's the whole Joe Buck. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Joe Buck sucks.
Aikman.
like, Joe Buck is a great announcer. He knows exactly what he's talking about. He's
Second generation.
Right. And the thing is that he had such a weird relationship with his dad, and like he wanted to prove to his dad.
I can do it by myself, right?
Joe Buck is a very good, very knowledgeable announcer. The reason that people don't like him is that when you are in a playoff game, he is gassing up Clayton Kershaw. When Clayton Kershaw plays against the Cubs, they're like, he's like, oh, Clayton Kershaw did this and won 17 Cy Youngs and did this, and everyone's like, he hates the Cubs because he talked about the opponent of the Cubs, and I'm like, no, his job is to gas up both fucking teams. And if one of the guys on the other team is really fucking good, you're gonna gas him up. Every time they call a Bears and Packers game and he's there, he's gassing up Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers fucks up the Bears every time.
Every time.
He hates the Bears. No, he's talking about how good Rodgers is because Rodgers is that fucking good.
And plus, you can't talk about the Bears because they're not doing anything.
Right,
good
and the problem is that you hate Aaron Rodgers. It has nothing to do with Joe Buck. You hate Rodgers. That's why you're upset.
Right. As the announcer, you're there to provide stories and background on the players that are producing.
Right, exactly.
So I'm going to highlight whatever is the highlight of the game.
Highlight is the key word.
Right. You're going to highlight because the Bears stink and there's nothing you can do about that.
There's nothing to talk
You
about.
can't put candy on a fucking turd and say, hey, eat this. You're
Like
still not
sweet. It's like, hey,
The sweetness.
Do the Bears shit in the woods? Like, no, they saved that for the field.
That's a good one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more after a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey guys, I'm Sandra Guerrero from Red Wealth Management. You are listening to the True Chicago Sports Fan podcast. Follow me on Instagram at Red Wealth Management Co. That is Red Wealth MGMT CO for all your financial needs.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Hey, what's up? This is Lex Cruz from Jungle AE Recording Studios and Illinois Media School, and you are now listening to True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast.
Welcome back to the TCSF podcast with E-Rock and Big Z.
Yes, sir.
With two of our favorite announcers being nominated, our topic today is a Ford Frick Award. Stoney, the Stone Pony, baby.
Stone Pony.
Stone
Steve
Pony,
Stone, baby.
Yes, right. Stoney pitched for 4 MLB teams between 1971 and 1981. In 1980, he was the AL Cy Young Award winner and an American League All-Star, finishing with the season with a record of 25-7, dominating. That, unfortunately, it was for the Baltimore Orioles. He was WGN's TV's color commentator for Chicago Cubs broadcast between 1983 and 2004, missing a couple of seasons late in his tenure due to health problems. He worked in radio until 2009, where he became the color commentator for the Chicago White Sox television broadcast.
Yeah, so I mean, he had a really long career. I mean, he did so many different things, and I think even
Playgirl.
now, huh?
He did Playgirl.
Okay, well, that was not something I was going to mention. But I mean, since you wanted,
it was the 70s.
Since you wanted to bring
Did you
it up,
buy the magazine?
No, I wasn't even born, man.
You could have found it at a flea market.
That would be E-Rock's. That's E-Rock's department over there.
Don't check the bookcase out.
No, oh,
It's
man.
signed and you can take it home. That's your gift. You pay for the baseball.
I will
Merry
frame the
Christmas.
shit out of that.
Yeah, page 7
Wow.
And-
it folds out.
and 8.
Oh, man. Monday Night Baseball, ABC Sports in 1982. So, look, I mean, he's done it all. Following his retirement, Steve Stone was hired by ABC to serve as a color commentator for the Monday Night Baseball broadcast. Stone was normally paired with Al Michaels and Bob Uecker in the booth.
I mean, think about that. Coming off of your career, right? And that's who you get paired up with.
Hall of Famers.
The Hall of Famers. You know what I mean? Other guys who have won the Frick Award, right?
Exactly. I mean, again, like we talked about, Al Michaels has covered everything, and it's nice to see that Steve Stone has covered a couple sports. I mean, Bob Uecker is just hilarious.
Bob Uecker, absolutely. I mean,
Problem child.
He's still out there doing something.
He'll call a game here and there.
Yeah, but not like
not
he used
an
to.
everyday thing.
So I mean, like after his 1 year at ABC doing the Monday Night Baseball, the Cubs tapped him and says, "Hey, we're calling our bullpen guy," and brought him in. So he was with the Cubs and WGN from 1983 to 2004. In '83, he became the color commentator for the WGN broadcast of the Cubs, teaming for 14 years with the Hall of Famer Harry Carey. In 1985, as you so eloquently
Oh, look at that. It's there.
spoke of, he did pose for Playgirl. After Harry Carey's death in February of 1998, Stone was paired with Carey's grandson, Chip Carey, who was a fucking disaster.
I kind of like that broadcast.
Yeah. Chip Carey. I mean, Chip Carey, his voice wasn't bad, but he just wasn't good at the job.
No, he wasn't good at the job, but he had the voice for it.
He's
Yeah.
like, he goes, line drive, base hit, caught out there. Like, wait a minute, those things, that's not how that works. Like, it's either
I would
a line
hope it'd
drive.
be caught out there, yeah.
Yeah, but it's either a line drive and a base hit, or it was caught out there. It's one or the other there, Chip. But he's still doing Braves. He's still doing Braves contracts. Stone left the booth due to health reasons in 2000, including a case of this long-ass disease that I'm not even going to...
It's called Valley Fever.
It's called Valley Fever, but it's also called coccidosis.
Keep your cock in your pants.
And also Playgirl. Yay. And he also had kidney stones, but he returned to the Cubs booth in 2003 and 2004.
Stone temporarily took over play-by-play duties for Harry Carey while he was recovering from a stroke at the start of 1987 season. WGN announced that until Harry Carey was well enough to return, guest announcers would fill in and sit alongside Stone. On August 7, 1993, Stone provided commentary alongside Jim Catt for Cubs game against St. Louis for CBS.
It's weird to think of CBS doing baseball, isn't it, at this point?
Yeah.
Some TVs don't even get CBS.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If I were to hook up like the regular like digital antenna, it's like, hi, can I watch Channel 2? And it goes, no.
My Samsung says no. My LG TV says, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll play CBS on for you."
Super weird.
It's
weird.
weird.
It's weird. It's weird what like technology, even though it's all shared, what technology actually picks up the channels like that.
So Sling is kind of like that because I love Hulu. I pay the $89 for Hulu to watch certain shows.
Hulu has live sports.
Right, right, and yeah, so does Sling. Sling's able to do that, but there's certain channels that you're not able to pick up. And my TV that's in my living room that's fairly new, I can't attach an antenna to it. You can, but it's like a weird option to find. I have to open up the manual. I was looking at it. I have to call customer service. I'm not gonna do all that.
I'll take a look at it.
Your TV is old. You don't have a coax on your TV?
No, it's new. It has all the apps and everything. It's like maybe 2 years old.
No, the back of the TV.
No, but I mean the inputs on the back. It's
like
coax.
this little silver thing that you plug it into.
Like
yeah,
an
you have
antenna.
to put an adapter, and then it's like an
makes sense.
adapter that's flat that you just put against the window.
Yeah, so no, that's the antenna.
Right. That's the digital
itself.
antenna, yeah.
That's
Digital
the antenna, but you have to hook it up to your TV, and usually it goes through a coax, which is the
It does that, but it didn't start reading the channels right away.
That's because the digital antenna has to be plugged into the USB at the same time. That's the power. That's the power.
I have the power.
Right. Yeah. Well,
He-Man.
I get it.
So Stone refused the contract extension as a Cubs color man after the 2004 season amid a controversy involving Cubs players who felt he was being overly critical of their performance.
Sounds familiar.
And then they brought in Rob Brentley, who was even more of an asshole. Even so, Stoney was a fan favorite. One reason he was so well liked was his ability to accurately predict what might happen in various game situations.
Still happening.
Like he's Tony Romo, explaining to the audience why the strategy or pitch would be successful prior to the play. A famous example of this was him expressing, "I wouldn't pitch to this guy" in a 2004 game, seconds before the batter Adam Dunn hit a home run off Cubs pitcher Mike Rellinger to give the Reds the lead. And I remember that because that's when Adam Dunn was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. Yeah. That's the last time he was good.
Yeah. Right before the
debacle.
Like,
yeah.
Here's a bunch of money. He's like, I forgot how to play. Stoney expressed frustration with Cubs manager Dusty Baker for not controlling his players. At one point during the 2004 season, Kent Merker called the broadcast booth from the bullpen during a game to complain about comments made, also confronting Stone in a hotel lobby. Among the comments that reportedly irked Merker were Chip Cary's praise of Houston Astros pitcher Roy Oswalt, who was a very good pitcher.
Yep.
It was also reported that Merker and left fielder Moises Alou shouted at Stone on a team charter plane to a road game in 2004, and that Alou tried to have Stone and Carey banned from the team charter flights. If you really didn't like him, all you had to do is piss on him, because that was Alou's thing.
I was gonna say Stone Pony was probably saying Stone Cold. Stone Pony was probably saying, "Hey, how about you wash your hands?"
I'll piss on you.
I ain't shaking your
I'll
shit.
piss on you. I'll piss on you.
R. Kelly.
On September 30th, 2004, R. Kelly. He was a butt pirate. On September 30, 2004, in the wake of a 12-inning loss to the Cincinnati Reds that all but eliminated the Cubs, Stone strongly criticized the team. The truth of the situation is this: an extremely talented bunch of guys who want to look at all directions except where they should really look and make excuses for what happened. This team should have won the wild card playoff berth by 6 or 7 games. No doubt about it. The comments stunned Baker and were a factor in Stone's resignation as a Cubs broadcaster the following month.
It sounds very similar to the 2022 White Sox.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Because he'll go in on the White Sox. Hey, this team is way too talented to be losing to fucking the Royals, to everybody, pretty much. Like, there's no reason that you should be losing with all this talent. Stone, literally, like, he'll say, "Oh, you shouldn't pitch to him." Boom. He just said that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He does it for the White Sox all the time. And then you'll see Benetti like, "Why shouldn't he do this?" Well, because he's fucking owned them his whole life. That's why. Mm-hmm. And you can see it.
that's research, that's knowing your job, right?
Yeah.
Like that's your job to know who you're facing, who you're commentating on, who the players are, what their stats are, what their weak point is, right? I mean, you play or you're around baseball or any sport long enough, you understand people's tendencies. Baseball is one of those few sports where you have one person going against another person when you're talking about a hitter going against a pitcher, right? Mm-hmm. You can talk about baseball, football, or basketball and football, whatever you want, but there's never a situation where it's one player versus another player. Right, you have a team versus a team in other sports.
Right,
baseball is unique in that situation where you have, and pitchers are weird to begin with. Pitchers are some of the weirdest people on the planet. But pitcher versus batter, and the fact that you remember this, you recognize it. That's a big part of your job. Whether the team wants to recognize or acknowledge or understand that or not, that was literally his job. It's what he was hired to do. So when you're critical, like I said, just the way that Bob Brentley is, when he ended up having to go, I think he ended up going back to the Diamondbacks. He went back to the Diamondbacks because he was a manager for the Diamondbacks. I think when they won the World Series,
right?
Came to the Cubs in a booth with Len, and then he was gone after a few years because he was always talking.
He was always talking about playing with his band.
Yeah,
that's all he really was.
Yeah. I know Len is a big music guy.
Yeah, Len's also a big music guy. Who also went to the White Sox. All right, in early 2005, Stone was hired by the Chicago radio station.
I wasn't going to say that, but you said it for me.
I'm going to the White Sox.
WSCR to provide commentary and host a weekly talk show hosted on Mondays by Terry. Wow.
What?
Terry Boers.
You don't need Boers?
Boers.
Come on, man.
Terry Boers and Dan Bernstein. On Tuesdays by Mike North. And on Thursdays by Brian Hanley and Mike Mulligan. He was also hired by ESPN to work some of that network baseball telecast. He still does the score on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Him and Ozzy do, not on the same day, but on alternating days, they'll be on there. And they provide a lot of insight on there.
Because the thing is that people forget, just because the Cubs are on the score now, the score was the home of the White Sox.
It was forever.
Yeah, it was.
The fact that the Cubs aren't on WGN now was just a travesty in the beginning.
Yeah. In early 2007, Stone filled in for White Sox color commentator Darren Jackson while Jackson took leave for the birth of his child, which he successfully predicted a walk-off home run by Juan Uribe. Got that one right. In extra innings. In October of 2007, Stone called postseason games between the Boston Red Sox and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, of Los Angeles and California and all that shit for TBS, partnered with play-by-play announcer Ted Robinson.
Dude, I said it once and I said it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles, it sounds like a Catholic from Mexico. Jose Guadalupe Ramirez and blah blah blah.
You got to put both your mother maiden names, both your dad's married names,
and your like great grandfather's third name. You have to put that in there too.
Yeah, Consuelo. On March 4th, 2008, Stone was named the color commentator of the White Sox radio broadcast for the 08 season on the score, replacing Chris Singleton, who moved on to ESPN. Good riddance, Chris Singleton. And I was super happy to have Stone Pony and Ed Farmer on the radio. And that, for me, was the equivalent of what you guys had on the North Side, because now you have two Hall of Famers, two pitchers, because Farmer was a pitcher,
right,
and you had two guys who knew the game backwards, forwards, and upside down, and they would predict stuff, and hey, this is what you should be doing. So for me, that's my favorite broadcast duo for the White Sox. On September 13th of 08, Stone accepted the job as a color commentator for the White Sox television broadcast for 6 years, beginning in the 09 season. He said he enjoyed being in the booth with Hawk Harrison. That's a lie. That's a lie.
He's the one person.
That's a fucking lie. Stating that he liked his nickname Stone Pony. Stone also acted as a fill-in play-by-play announcer when Harrison wasn't available. He worked with either analyst Tom Paciorek. I love fucking Spanky.
Yeah.
And Tony Graffinino, who was a White Sox player in the 05 season and 04 and all this shit, but he was okay. As of 2022, since Harrelson's retirement, Stone remains as the White Sox television color commentator alongside J.C. Benetti, who is the new Bob Costas.
Yeah, he does everything.
He does everything.
Absolutely everything.
He works twice a day, does 2 sports a day. It's ridiculous. He does everything, and the Olympics now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I didn't know about the Olympics.
Yeah, he did the Olympics.
Yeah. Bob Costas. The only thing that Benetti needs to do is get pink eye. Yeah. So let me ask you a question, because we talked. I think we touched on like White Sox announcers before. Darren Jackson,
Garbage.
and Len Casper. How do you? Here's my first question. And
it sounds so weird to have Len Casper on my shit.
I do have a follow-up question also. But my first question is,
oh my God, here we go.
Do you enjoy listening to them? And also, who's your favorite Muppet?
My favorite Muppet is Grover. And no, I do not listen to. I try not to. When the
you mean you don't like the intro? Hi ho, this is Len Casper here, and I'm here to talk about White Sox baseball. And here's my partner. Yay! That was a homer.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Len Casper. I don't like him.
He's a very good baseball voice. You can't have two dudes that sound like fucking Kermit. So it was just like the same, like, repetitive shit, and that's what it feels like when you listen to Len and fucking Darren.
Oh my God!
Just like 3 hours of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can't see him flailing his arms like Muppets over here. So
crazy inflatable arm flailing tube, man! Yay!
Who does the? I can't remember the guy's name right now. Is who does the pregame for the White Sox on ESPN?
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I listened to him.
He is great.
Yeah, he's good.
He is great, and he's been on the radio broadcast, and he's done a couple games in the booth with Benetti. He is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. That's a guy that you're going to see him come up real soon. Just because I don't think the chemistry between Len Casper and Darren Jackson is great. Like you said, they sound like the same person.
Now, who do you think is going to get the boot first?
They'll wait for Len Casper's contract to run out. Because you need Darren Jackson as the color guy, because you need a former player.
You know who they should get is Miss Piggy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There'll be a sound effect. Don't worry. But again, Jason Benetti will be there forever. I don't know how long Stoney's gonna be in a booth, man. And you know what? For me, I grew up watching Cubs baseball because that's all you can watch on TV. Growing up.
And you didn't become a Cubs fan because of that.
No, I love the Cubs. I just didn't like the Cub fans in my neighborhood because they were dickheads about it. Like,
did they pick on you?
No, they didn't know. They didn't know baseball, so it annoyed me to say you're a Cub fan and don't know who's on your team, who's on the rotation. That annoys me. Same thing for White Sox fans. Believe me, it's on both sides of town.
Right,
but growing up, everybody was a Cub fan. I'm like, okay, cool. Who's on the team? I watched the team.
Yeah.
When I played Nintendo, was it Bases Loaded? I would play as the Cubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would play as the Cubs, and I would mamanually keep stats of every game that I played.
Oh yeah, that's
so that
I would play the show.
Yes.
04. That would be like 04, and then I remember
I have all that.
Yeah, I remember picking my own team, so I know like David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling, like everyone who I was.
The bloody sock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that book of his. That
Do
game.
you really?
Yeah, that game.
Does it come with a piece of bloody sock?
Tissue.
Oh.
And a tampon.
Oh, there we go. No, but I remember Stone because, during the rain delays, he was educational.
Yeah.
Because they didn't play. They didn't play
like flashbacks.
You're not watching. Highlights. Yeah, you're not watching highlights of
the marquee
of the 73 Cubs. You're not watching Friends. They were literally there to entertain you. And so I learned how to pitch. Because he was like, okay, guys, we're going to learn how to pitch today. And this is a split finger, and this is a curveball.
And you see it now when you see on, like, especially like ESPN or whatever, you see them, like, actually zoom in on the pitcher's hand and see the grip of the baseball.
Yeah, and that's what I learned about baseball. Like, the little intricacies of baseball was learned through Steve Stone. Hey, this is why you should move this guy over, because this guy hits to the right 73% of the time. Like, he's calling stats before they was calling stats. Analytics and whatever. So for me, Steve Stone is one of the best, and I hope that one of our Chicago guys does win it. Either way, if Stone doesn't get it or Hughes doesn't get it, one of them or the other one should get it this year and next year.
Now, is someone I'm learning about this? I know they give an award, but can they run up again next year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's essentially like it's.
But you still have to be nominated, of course.
You have to be nominated. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're gonna be nominated. I mean, The problem with MLB is that sometimes they wait too long and they wait till people die and then it's like, oh, we're going to celebrate them.
The problem with MLB is that the fucking MLB writers think they're gatekeepers, that they can keep people out because they were mean to me one time when I asked for an interview or all this bullshit. Like the fact that Ron Santos did not become a Hall of Famer until after he fucking died, when every time you saw him sitting next to the phone with his one pinstripe fucking fake leg and his one other cubby blue fake leg just sitting there, you know what I mean, like struggling to get over to the phone and sitting next to that rotary phone he's had since 1961 in his office or in his home, just sitting there. And then the people who got to celebrate him making it to the Hall of Fame were his family. Yeah. That was so shitty. I'm like, to me personally, I was like, you know what? At this point, I don't want to like. If you didn't feel like I was deserving of it when I was alive, then why are you giving it to me? Giving it to my family now that I'm dead, right? Like, it
doesn't mean that much to him, right?
But I mean, like, what the fuck, man? Like, he never got the satisfaction of knowing he was a Hall of Famer.
Same thing for me, also.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, it's shitty. So like at that point, just say fuck it. Like, why? What's the point of giving someone a posthumous award? I don't understand that. Like, hey, your dad was cool. Well, why didn't you fucking tell him that?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Appreciate what you got while they're living. Yeah, 100%. And
that goes in general, but yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Right now, and the thing is, I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid just to give it to one person a year.
No, right.
But it's an award. I mean, it's an award just like anything else.
Yeah, but in the NFL,
but it's pretty much like the Hall of Fame. You know, the Hall of Fame is stupid as well,
right? But I mean, like the Hall of Fame is a bunch of players. Like if you watch like NBA Hall of Fame, like you only get like one or two. Like you get one announcer a year. You know what I mean? Like it's not,
and it should be like the Hall of Fame where you get at least 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, but I mean, it's normally you don't get like 3 or 4 broadcasters at once. You know what I mean? You get a bunch of players.
Or 2 at least.
Yeah.
I still think they should put in 2 guys at one time.
Right, but I mean, you also got to remember this has only been award. This award has only been out since like 1978, right? So I mean, like you've gone through
40-something years,
right? And I mean, like you know, it's just whoever got nominated. I mean, I think what's happening now is that you're seeing some of these older guys start to get their flowers, and if you look at a guy like Pat Hughes or Steve Stone, I mean, they're actually getting it earlier than they might have. You know what I mean? Because
they're in their 70s.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, but at the same time, like again,
TikTok, motherfucker.
We have seen, right? Exactly. But we have seen, just like we just said, we've seen several instances where they wait until they're dead and be like, "Oh yeah, you were cool and you're alive." Like, what's the point of that shit? Give these guys 100%. Their flowers now. You know what I mean?
That's
why Pat Hughes getting the
why he was that was perfect. Same thing with Minnie Minoso getting a statue.
Yeah.
And he's crying and stuff like that. And like when he got the award, when he got the Hall of Fame, like the White Sox literally decorated, like they put flowers and then people brought flowers and it was like a big old thing. Just because Minnie Minoso was 7 decades in the fucking game. Yeah. Pat Hughes has been in there 5 decades, 6 decades.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, give these guys their flowers when they're alive.
100%.
Oh, you missed it. Did you miss that?
I
don't care. That's not my kicker. I just wanted him to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're done with that?
No, were
That's
we done?
it, right? That was it. That was the end of it.
Okay. So, Hawk.
Oh, here we go.
Let's talk about Hawk real quick.
You want to talk about Hawk? This is 2 years ago.
No. I mean, like, give me, like, before we close out the section, this segment. Because we're talking about no water on the weekend, right? this is all the beer. This is the most beer I drank in a while.
I was like, oh, you guys party like this? All right. It's
Sunday,
normally,
yeah. Normally we finish probably a 24 pack.
Okay. Pretty close, yeah. I mean, like it's usually
10 beers.
Yeah. That's about right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's
well, I'm
normal.
glad I'm able to keep up with you guys.
We're also old.
Hence, we're drinking the light stuff.
Right,
yeah,
we've absorbed a lot of beer in our time. But yeah, so just give me overall what because I don't think we've ever really touched on your opinion of Hawk.
I think Hawk stayed on way too long. I think he was a shadow of what he used to be. When you listen to White Sox baseball, especially in the 90s and early 2000s, he was on top of it. He was your typical homer, right? Here's your Bob Uecker, who's going to be rooting for your home team. He's part of the fabric. He's got sayings. Like, he gave everybody a nickname for the past 25 years. Stone Pony, that's a nickname that he gave him. So for Hawk, I think that he got to an age where he was kind of like mailing it in. And you can hear it in the telecast his last 5 years because he was with Stone, and like Stone's like literally covering 3 innings by himself.
Yeah.
And it's because Hawk's either pissed off or he's pissing in the washroom for 25 minutes.
I'm trying to pass that stone.
But there's been times, yeah, exactly. There's been times where Hawk's been pissed off, and he's like, "I'll be back. I'm going downstairs,"
and he just leaves. And he leaves, or he's just silent. Like it was weird.
Yeah, when the White Sox were like, let's say they get blown out, right? It's fucking 12-1. Silence.
Yeah.
Dead. Dude, you can't do that.
No, you can't.
And I mean, here's the thing. Like, I understand.
And that's not keeping it professional at all.
No.
And
But I mean,
your co-star by yourself.
here's the thing. Hawk Harrelson has never been accused of being professional.
No.
Okay, he was the reason that fucking La Russa got fired in the
first
80s.
Yeah, the first
because
time.
he was, for some reason, the GM of the White Sox, and he fired La Russa.
Yep.
That's how La Russa got fired. That's why La Russa ended up back on the White Sox, because fucking Jerry felt bad. He was like, number one, he was sitting there. He was like, I should have never made Hawk the GM.
Nope.
Number one, and number two, I feel really bad that like when you were in your prime, I got rid of you. That's how La Russa ended up with a second stint.
I mean, can you imagine if he would have stayed?
Karma back now because he didn't do that.
No, but I'm saying, can you imagine if La Russa would have stayed? Because they won in '83.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you see what he did with the Cardinals.
Yep.
Right. He won.
And Oakland. Oakland. He won Oakland first.
He won he won with Oakland.
So he won in like 1989 with Oakland during the hurricane or the earthquake series. I think it was against the
Bash
Giants.
Brothers.
Right. And the beginning of the steroid era.
Yeah.
And then he went to the Cardinals. And I want to say he won 2 with the Cardinals.
Right. He retired as a champion.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And he was he was out of the game for 10 years. I mean, he retired at the right time, and then he had like a bunch of DUIs because he loves wine. But yeah, I mean, like that. but here's the thing too, is that when you're talking about not Stone, but
Ken
Hawk,
Hawk, yeah,
he stayed past his prime. You could say the same thing about Ron Santo, but the difference is that Ron Santo was an endearing figure, right? Ron Santo, even though like towards the end of his life and his career, he was just kind of like, sometimes you're like, Ronnie, we're here still. Hawk was just like a grumpy, pissed off old man about every fucking thing. Ronnie was just sitting there like, I'm here for a good time, you know. That was the difference. Right.
And the reason he wasn't on air or he was dormant was because he has health issues. So he had to take care of.
Yeah,
that's completely different. Right. That's what I'm saying. He's diabetic. He's missing a couple legs. But it's like
a couple of legs, both legs.
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, but his third one was okay.
Hey,
unless they got caught in the zipper.
So I mean, that's the big difference between someone who wants to be there and they love their job rather than showing up and like, man, I fucking hate this team. I got to call this game.
So let's talk about Homer announcers real quick.
Sure.
Okay, because I mean, we know that Ron Santo was 100% right. And we know Hawk was, but 100. do you think that, and this is really specific to baseball, because baseball is the one sport where you're playing every day, and 90% of the games that you listen to or that you see on TV are announced by a local commentator.
Yeah.
Now you have hockey and you have basketball, but you still have so much less games that they're broken up. You got your national broadcast, which you have in baseball, but with baseball, every single day as a baseball fan, you develop a relationship with the announcers, and when they're super hardcore homers, it almost damages your view of your team, because now you're listening to an announcer who's gassing up Joe Blow, who's not that great, but he has all this potential, and I saw him in spring training and blah 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 blah. Well, now when that same player plays in a national broadcast and a guy like Joe Buck never mentioned his name, or when he does, he was like, oh yeah, he was the minor league player of the year in 2017, but he hasn't panned out. And then he comes back home to the national the local broadcast, and he's like, oh, he's the best player of all time.
No,
that's damaging to fans to not understand properly,
or
not being able
ego.
to evaluate your team properly, because that's the same thing we talked about earlier. Now Joe Buck is talking about the guy in the other team. Oh, he's not talking about my team. He hates my team. That is not how it works. So it actually is damaging to the way that baseball fans are able to truly evaluate the players in their team, because they're blinded by what their announcer is pumping into their ears every day.
This is why you listen to Steve Stone.
Because he won't. No, that's why he got in trouble with the Cubs. Right,
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But even with the White Sox, he's like, yeah, Yoel Moncada, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's not showing up. He's not hustling.
And then it goes to the narrative where he's like, doesn't care. He's just in it for the check.
He's wearing his big chain and his new colored shoes and gloves now.
He's got to get that check because he has to pay for his dance lessons.
Yep.
Yeah, because he's got to release a whole new video.
Mm-hmm. yeah, he's got to pay for that studio time.
Yeah, studio time.
Studio time.
I mean, is there any Cub announcers that you don't like besides Chip Carey?
Not really. Keith Moreland was just super boring. That was the guy.
Snore Moreland.
No, he was fucking awful.
He was Snorri Moreland. Yeah.
He was awful. But I love Coom. I think he's done a really good job filling that role, especially when you talk about the lull they had between Ron Santo and himself. So be having the Pat and Ron show back is really good. Shambi, here's the thing is that everyone's like, well, he's only telling stories. Like, John Shambi, number one, has one of the best voices in baseball, right? You look at the fact, I think Marquis has actually done a very good job because JD was a holdover from when he was with Len after Bob Brenly left, right? Mm-hmm. JD, former pitcher, very good, knowledgeable player, knowledgeable announcer, calming voice. You got Shambi, but because he's not a Cub, because he's not a former player, because he's not this, because he came from
He's a
ESPN,
national broadcaster.
He's a national broadcaster who did national games, I think, today, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he does Sunday night games.
Yeah, he did Sunday night because you also have Jesse Rogers, who is on board with him, and Adam Amin is doing those national broadcasts and stuff like that, who's the new Bulls announcer the last couple of years.
We just did the Bears game today as well.
He just did the Bears game today. So, I mean, like, that's the thing is that you're looking at a local guys, but I actually like Boog. I like what he brings to the table. I think he's just not a homer, and that's what Cubs fans expect. That's what they're looking for. You had Len every day, like, oh, these guys are the greatest, and like they're not. I'm sorry.
It never dawned on me that he sounded like that.
Oh my God!
You can't unhear it. You
can't now.
Now Len Casper's ruined for me. Thank you.
I think the fact
not like you listen to White Sox radio broadcast
anymore. That's what ruined it for me.
Well, I mean, when he was with the Cubs, I was listening to him, but
oh my God!
All right, guys, we'll be right back with Stirring the Pot after a word from our sponsors.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride, so do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Hey, this is Mikey O, and you're listening to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast.
This is Enrique Calderon coming to you from True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast. Come check me out on social media, Enrique Calderon Official on Instagram and Facebook. Check us out.
Y te lo dice
Enrique Calderon.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with E-Rock and Big Z.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. It's that time again, fellas.
Uh-oh.
You know what time it is.
Oh, boy.
It's time for Stirring the Pot. All right, so since we have a guest in the house.
The man of the hour. You get the honors.
Stevie B.
Stevie B.
And Johnny G. And whoever the hell else Ken said was on the show. He was
Oh, Ken. I love that. Yeah, K-Dog.
So we do Stirring the Pot, which is where we talk about a food topic, and we either give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, yay or nay. So being the guest of the show, you get to present us with a food that either you like or you've seen that might be weird, and we debate if we would eat it or not.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big fan of chicken in general. It sounds bad how I said it, but no. So, we're talking about this off air, and when you asked me this question, but I see a lot of ads for KFC. And the only thing that really enticed me to actually order KFC this one time was because they had the beverage bucket, and I thought that was hilarious.
I remember that actually.
So was that the bucket where you put the chicken in and they just put Pepsi in it?
No. It's a bucket, but they have like a Ziploc pourable baggie that's in there, and you pour it out of the bucket.
So you remember liter of cola?
Yeah.
Liter of cola? Imagine like 4 liters of cola.
Right.
That's way too much.
Yeah, right.
That's way too much cola.
It's supposed to fill a family of 6. I don't know. I'm just but anyway, so I'm a big fan of Cane's.
Cane's chicken.
Cane's chicken.
By God, that's gotta be Kane. Well, that's wrestling.
That I've never heard.
Yeah, me either. I don't watch wrestling.
That's
the way that you.
Oh yeah.
I don't
That's
think I've ever heard you get that excited about anything.
Yeah. I was listening to a wrestling podcast before I drove up here.
That's why he didn't text me back.
So what we're talking about here is KFC.
We're talking about chicken fast food.
Well, we're because your thing. Because I think we all like Cane's, right?
Yes. We're agreement there.
I think like at least where we grew up, like it was more Popeyes, like you know what I mean? Because there was more Popeyes.
Right.
I feel
Popeyes,
like
Churches.
Like
Popeyes,
like
Browns.
Popeyes was like the hood chicken.
It was. It's in the hood.
Browns.
I thought
you had that Browns. It was on Western, right? Remember that Browns as a Burger King?
Yes. The
by Diversity, and there was one by Harlem Irving,
right? And there used to be one in Schiller Park.
Oh yes. It's like nothing now. It's like been nothing forever.
I think it's an Indian cuisine.
Like but every time they put something else there, it right on River Road, it just closed down. So
yeah.
You got Churches by the Madison.
Yeah. Well,
it's at Jackson, right? Jackson and Ogden.
Yeah, but like I said, KFC has some weird things. They also have those bowls too. Mashed potatoes, corn. I like the small little chicken.
That's the stone. That's like someone got real high, like, hey. How about we put all the shit in the bowl? That was basically like a Chipotle bowl before Chipotle existed.
Right. Yeah, I think they try to do that to compete with Chipotle, honestly.
No.
I'm pretty sure. It came out a little bit later. It's recently
new. Are you high? Would you like everything all at the same time?
Take a look at that. Look at the bowl. But
it's mashed potatoes, it's corn, it's cheese, and then like the popcorn chicken or whatever on top of it. Yeah, dude, I did this shit when I was 8.
Maybe you're the one who invented it.
I am. All right, so here's the question. Because you've already professed your love for KFC, so I'm running with that one, man. That's like
I love KFC.
Like, okay,
but like if I have to do it, it only intrigues me is because I want that bucket.
You want that bucket of cola? All right. So Z, you go.
Like I'll say my
see
list.
A KFC, right? Hold on. You see a KFC and you're like, let me go.
It's a step away from the mic.
He's gonna cough or puke. I don't know.
I feel like puking. I pulled up the image and I'm like, my concussion's about to kick in because I got the little fucking saliva in the back of my mouth that I wanted to puke.
You got the wet mouth.
Yeah, sure. That's what she said. Hey, this shit looks disgusting.
And there's people out there that eat that every day.
So Steven.
It's like no more water on the weekend.
Oh my God. 720 calories, 26 grams of protein, 79 grams of carbs,
First
34
of all,
grams.
If you're eating at KFC, none of that matters to you.
I'm just reading this shit off the website. It's in a plastic bowl. It's got mashed potatoes, corn. Mm-hmm. There's gravy all over it. There's 4 nuggets on it. And some cheese on top.
Mm-hmm. Like it's not like cheese. It's like
the shredded cheese. It's like sprinkled on it.
5 strands of cheese.
Yeah. That's what's in
cheese. That's like
cheddar, provolone, and American.
It's whatever the fuck they find.
Yeah, but no. I'm not. What I'm saying is that I'm not saying that it's not or it is or not real cheese. I'm saying that that's not enough fucking cheese. Like 4 strands of cheese ain't cheese. Like I need cheese. If you give me a cheeseburger and I see like a little strand of like shredded cheese sticking out the side, I'm like, you owe me the cheese. Like you owe me the rest of the cheese that I was owed when I ordered this because it said cheese and I says I want my cheese.
The cheese should be dripping off the hamburger.
Fucking right, it should. Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah, I get that. But I'm just saying, like KFC has been. They're very innovative with their food.
KFC is disgusting. Let me tell you something.
I'm
about
not saying
KFC.
it's.
So there's an image that says lower carb copycat KFC famous bowls.
So what is it?
That's like other TikTokers. Well, there's also TikTokers that find an easier way to break down that meal if you like that meal.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
What it is.
Let me say, especially when I was working on the road, when I was doing appliance service, every probably like once a year I'd give KFC a try, right? And I'm like, all right, so what's because I don't want to be sitting in the truck.
Because I grew up eating KFC, like that would be like.
So did I, and I hated it.
I didn't grow up. We had Popeyes. That's
my dad loved KFC, and he did not like. He's like, Popeyes is so greasy. I'm like, that's where the flavor's at, bro.
First of all, and that's the weird thing. It's like
in the sauce.
To me,
it's in the juices.
To me, so I'm gonna tell you.
What did you get? Original or did you get crispy?
First of all,
he seems like an extra crispy kind of guy.
He's an original guy.
First of all,
he's very traditional.
Once in a while, I would give KFC a shot, right? And I go in there and I'm like, I need something that I can drive and eat at the same time. So that's not going to be like the chicken thigh or whatever. It's or the breast.
Or the pot pie.
I'm not getting that chicken.
Oh God, no.
And I'm sitting there. I was like, all right, give me the chicken tenders, the chicken strips, and I get it, and I'm like, this shit is drier than a mummy's vagina. Like, what the fuck is going on here? I need about 8 gallons of that sauce just to choke this shit down. And then the wedges, like, where's the rest? These are like the hardest little flattest wedges I ever seen in my life.
Because they're overcooked.
It's crazy as hell. So that's your chicken strips, right? I'm like, they're like made from real chickens now. I'm like, what happened to the rest of the time? Anyway, so now
past 50 years,
right? So now you got the chicken strips and the whatever is not an actual like piece of chicken, right? Dry as hell.
Okay, we're gonna go on Mannheim tomorrow.
No, we're not doing none of that. So first of all, I know exactly the one you're talking about. I'm not going there either. Right next to the fucking oil change place. Where do you fucking think they
go get that oil change there?
Where do you think they get their oil?
Their motor oil.
They wring out the fucking chicken. So then that's the thing is that if you actually get the chicken, right? So now if you ever, I back in the day I used to work at Jewel, and people would order fried chicken. Now if you get it on the spot, just like anywhere else, it's good. But if you order it ahead of time, it goes in a tin, and by the time you get it, all the steam makes it a little soggy, right?
Yep.
You can rectify that with the air fryer, which I did this morning.
There we go.
Nice.
But if you get it, like that's how their chicken is. For some reason, shit that just came out of a deep fryer is soggy. How the fuck is it soggy already?
The steam.
So like, but why? But it just came out. It's not in a container. Like,
it just
what
came
the
out
fuck?
of the oil, right?
That's what I'm saying. So how is it that your chicken that just came out of the fryer is just wet? Like, it's supposed to be crispy.
He's talking about the original. He's talking about original.
But I'm saying, like, what the fuck?
You gotta ask the Colonel.
But why the fuck? Why is your chicken like chicken like wet as hell and your chicken strips dry as hell? Like, couldn't you just figure that shit out? Just
somewhere in between.
Mix it together. Like, figure it out. That's what, like I can't fuck with KFC. I can't fuck with the KFC. You realize they changed their name from Kentucky Fried Chicken to KFC years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not chicken anymore.
Because it was some weird claim about like part of it wasn't chicken, so they had to take the word chicken out of their. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was because it didn't originate from Kentucky.
This is before they This is before they got sourced out by Tyson Chicken.
That's before that fucking mummy was born that they get the fucking chicken strips from.
So back to the question.
That's why I do like it, because I get my oil change there and I get the KFC.
Yeah, it's 2 for 1.
Yeah, and you go to KFC, you get your chicken, and we're like, here, use this for my oil.
I also get my stamped, punched through Vasquez and go to KFC. It's double the points.
Wow.
The rewards.
You really are from over here.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude.
So that's
right by the
overpass. Yeah. So that's a no for you for KFC.
Oh, that's a hell no. Hell no. We already know you're at. You wearing
yeah.
I
mean, I'll eat it. I do like all of them. I'm not picky about it. Like, it's just.
But you said KFC is your favorite one.
It's not my favorite, but I still like the innovative
stuff.
stuff.
You did kind of come in here talking about how much you love KFC.
I mean, I do like KFC. And I do like Popeyes, and I do like Browns.
Popeyes is a shit.
Popeyes is a shit.
I like Sharks.
Popeyes. Popeyes is good because they have flavor, and they put flavor in every fucking thing that you order from there. The red beans and rice, the dirty rice, the fries.
God,
love that chicken with Popeyes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's
I love the dirty rice.
Hey, the one on Damon and Fullerton. That's where I grew up. Now you know it. You already know it. This shit's
That's
still
the best
there.
one.
It's so weird because the drive-thru has like this weird window with like plants in it.
Okay, but have you eaten at the KFC on Mannheim?
No, because it's disgusting. I can't fuck with KFC. I can't do it.
Next time I come over here, I'm bringing this guy
a bucket,
a gift card.
No, give him a
gift
bucket.
Card,
no, just bring the bucket.
No, because
I'll bring the bucket.
I promise you, I'm not going to use that gift card. I'm going to give that shit away.
Is there any sides you like from KFC?
No.
Not even the
I don't like the inside or the outside. I don't like none of that shit.
You know what I'm gonna
the
do?
mashed potatoes.
I'm gonna grab
all
of
it.
It's like
I'm gonna put it in containers and be like, "Hey guys, my mom made us
some
food.
chicken."
Yeah, bullshit.
See if you can taste the difference.
Like, look at that generic ass fucking mashed
potatoes. That'll be a good thing.
I go use the restroom and then you start talking to each other. Man, this fucking tastes like shit. I'm not gonna say it in front of Steven. I'm not gonna eat it. I'm gonna eat it.
It's gonna be like Sugar Hill game. Like, you ever go to your friend's house to eat and the shit ain't no good.
So I have been on a chicken fiend, and I go Mondays to Jewel.
Yeah,
see,
cheap chicken Monday.
Yep.
See, but here's the thing with me and Jewel's chicken is every time I go, I don't taste right. It just it's overcooked. Rotisserie chicken is overcooked.
No. We're talking about either fried chicken or the grilled chicken. And I'll alternate. I love the grilled chicken.
I know this because I work there. The grilled chicken is literally just baked chicken, but the fried chicken
is fried in the pressure cooker.
It's fried in the pressure cooker. So if you get it, like you got to get it because it sits under a lamp, right? Like if you go and you see them in the back and the thing's almost done, that's when you buy the chicken, right? They're like, hey, when's that chicken come out? They go 12 minutes. You're like, I'll be back in 12 minutes.
Right.
Go get all your shit done. Grab your beer.
What happens
and
if
your
you're
chips.
just going just for that chicken? Because I don't got 12 minutes.
Yeah, you do. If you walk this, by the time you go to the liquor.
Excuse me, sir. How many children or wives do you have?
None.
Yeah, you have 12 fucking minutes.
By the time you go to the other side of the store and you pick up your liquor and come back, that's 12 minutes.
That's 12 minutes, man. You peruse down the
We've both worked at Jewel.
Yeah. Yeah. It really because you're like 12 minutes.
Is that how you guys met?
No, we went to high school together.
Yeah.
And then you got him the job?
No, I worked at Southport and Addison.
No, we worked at different times.
Gotcha.
The parallel of our lives is really fucking weird. It's really
scary.
I want an episode of that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we've done that. Yeah.
Well, we haven't done a full episode of just us.
We've done a lot of talking about like the fact that like our elementary schools was like 2 blocks away from each other, and yeah.
You guys be on the opposite side, walking on the other street and just looking at each other.
No, I walked south. He walked east.
Yep. So we literally
because he lived in Wicker Park and I lived in Ukrainian Village, so I walked south. So we would not have bumped into each other.
It was close. And then come all the way out here, and you come right to where you grew up. It's
right.
That's insane.
No, it's crazy because like I went to high school over here, and like I had friends over there, like Melrose Park, Maywood.
Yep.
And then like going back, like sometimes I would drive back home to Humboldt Park. So my grandfather owns the building, so it's my dad's dad or whatever. So I would take North Avenue all the way down till I got to Humboldt Park.
Yep.
Right now, depending on the time it is now, I'm not going to do that. But, I'm going to just jump on the expressway.
Yeah, I would probably avoid most of North Avenue at this time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do have a question for you, sir.
Yeah.
What you looking at? What are you watching that isn't sports?
Ooh, so I'm a big Marvel guy.
Okay.
No.
I'm a huge Marvel guy.
Oh, I couldn't tell by the photos of you in the background in the studio.
So Werewolf by Night.
Okay.
It's out on Disney Plus. That is great. I think the story of that, even though it's 55 minutes, goes really smooth. Talks about the story, a little bit about the background. Flows really well for 55 minutes. It's quick, it's easy, it's likable, and I enjoy it. And then I'm also waiting for another one. Which they should do a spinoff, and then
so it's a one-off?
It's a one small movie. It's a special. That's how they labeled it as a special.
Okay. I'm down.
So
yeah,
for 55 minutes.
Yeah, that's in and out. Especially for him. Yeah, he doesn't finish any series.
No. I have this thing. That was the thing we were talking about before. Paramount and Hulu and Amazon Prime and Netflix and all this other shit. And I go in there and they're like, "Oh, you should watch this." I'm like, "Yeah, cool." And I watch 2 episodes and then I fucking smoke a little bit of pot and I fell asleep and then I never remember that show ever existed again because it was like, "Oh, did you watch episode 3?" But like, what show is that? Like, you remember you told me all about it? Be like, oh, I recommended it to you?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I hope it's good.
Fill me in.
Right. Let me know how it ends.
And then, because it's October and I've been watching a lot of rewatching a lot of the Conjuring episodes, movies. Okay. So, which is great. And
there's a new one coming out pretty soon, right?
I think it's next year. They're also going to make La Llorona #2.
Yep.
La Llorona,
I wasn't a fan of the first one.
I mean,
it was okay.
It's all white crew. I want someone who's a Hispanic family who's Mexican, and then they tell their kids this, and then next thing you know, it's like it comes true.
Who's the director of? Was it? Fuck.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That guy. He does all the fucking crazy costume movies and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
Tommy Johnson.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Oh, the one where what was it?
That's the trumpet guy for the Mets, right?
Yes.
No, the Shape of Water.
The Shape of Water.
I still haven't seen that.
I still haven't seen it either.
I've seen it.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say spoilers or say a spoiler, but you guys haven't seen it. I'm not.
No, I haven't seen it, but
no.
That's the person you want for that movie.
What?
What'd you say?
He snuck that in there.
He did.
He goes, giant penis. That's what he said. It's like, okay, well,
that's in the shape of water.
That's the shape of water.
And I also have it in 3D, so you can watch. I'm just kidding. I didn't sound it.
Whoa.
It's like, how far back do I have to sit away from the screen so I don't get hit with that giant dong?
You're going to be like, it's in my face.
I told you I don't like fish sticks.
Do you
like fish sticks?
It's like Watchmen all over again.
It's like Kanye West.
Oh, God.
This show just took a turn.
All right, Z, what you been watching?
To be honest with you, I've been so busy podcasting, editing, and doing this other stuff. It's
Sean's been gone. He's going to be gone for this week. And
is he back next week?
he'll come back on Saturday. So we're going
to So you need another... so there you go. Friday, you available?
Let me check my schedule. I don't know.
It says softball.
Yeah, softball.
It might be. It might be. I'm not even lying.
Another Chicago theater event.
That was the one time, and the funny is I actually missed that game, and I was like, all right, I'm over here on the phone. Like, what happened? Okay, what happened now? Okay, what happened?
Oh boy.
Yeah, no, you've been busy between helping me out and doing that podcast.
I mean,
I might be free.
Yeah,
we'll see. Because I'll come and talk shit all over your show.
That's the whole point of the show.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm good at that.
So I haven't been watching.
Just gotta be ready to drink some. I'll have some liquid IVs for you because we take a couple shots during the show, and I know you said you don't really drink that much.
No,
what?
I mean, you drink, but you don't drink like heavier a lot, right?
I've been heavier a lot my whole life, so yes, I drink
I'm going to tell you, come up with the hardest trivia questions to stump this man, because he is a human trivia encyclopedia.
I know a lot of weird shit.
Yes, that's why. That's what trivia is.
Before we digress, and I started to get off topic.
But
what is one thing that you really know your trivia about? And I will find questions and see if I could stump you.
Fuck, this guy's
it's random.
It's jack of all trades over there.
I'm the same thing with trivia. I know trivia. I'm the same way. I like it.
And it's like, you know what I mean? It's half the time it's like that thing where I'm like, yeah, it's right there, okay, and then I like connect the dots, and then I hopefully find it. Yeah.
Talk about the guy who built the Sears Tower and fucking fell off. That guy.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about that. Anyway, what do you want? You're not.
No. So the only thing I've been watching when I get home, I throw on the 70 show because I'm catching up to see the episodes I haven't seen. So I'm
on Peacock.
Yeah, so I'm on season 6. So I'm catching up. Kelso just got his girl pregnant from the library.
Oh, you're way.
She was very attractive, by the way.
Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie.
American Pie, yeah. So then there's a couple cameos by some other actors, and so it's pretty cool. But what I did watch, and it's kind of sports related again, it's wrestling, and I watched the pay-per-view. It came on this past Saturday, Extreme Rules, and they did a great reveal, a phenomenal job of revealing a character that got released during the pandemic. Bray Wyatt got released.
Oh yeah,
and you remember him from WrestleMania. And he came back, and so he used to have this fun house where he had puppets. Yeah, so now all the puppets have come to life.
Yeah, and it's right on time for Halloween.
Yeah. Exactly, and it was perfect timing, great presentation, and it leaves you because Monday. Well, this come out on Tuesday, so Monday is the season premiere of Monday Night Raw, and it's going to premiere on that. So it's huge for wrestling. It's great because Triple H is taking over for Vince Shitty McMahon. What was that? Oh my god!
I was like halfway through, you already said that.
Yeah. Shitty McMahon is out of the building now, so you have Triple H running things.
Sounds like the worst leprechaun name ever. Hi, I'm Shitty McMahon.
He also brought back Braun Strowman, his big old fucking ridiculous ass.
Didn't one of the dudes pass away though? That was like in their little group. There was a one dude that...
Yes, he passed away. Yeah. He was in AEW. He passed away, yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty much what I've been watching. I am going to watch the new Hellraiser, though, when I get home.
It's on Hulu.
That's on Hulu.
But there's one thing that I watched sports-related, and I forgot to talk about it. I talked about it on the weekend. The Redeem Team.
Yes.
Oh,
that is on Netflix. I saw it on Friday. Amazing. It's great to see Kobe talk The way he was so determined, the Mamba mentality.
I feel like, especially like Bulls fans who like we had this thing against Kobe, like you better not get 6, like you know what I mean. You just want to be Jordan. I feel like we didn't I didn't appreciate Kobe until like much later on. Even when like you saw him on the sidelines and you saw his relationship with the players, and just especially knowing the way that Jordan is now with players, and just like he's like, yeah, I don't really like fuck you. I'm the best. Why do I gotta talk to you for? You know, I feel like Kobe didn't have that in him. Kobe was like, I understand what it took to be the best. Right. I understood what it was like to look up to the best, so I'm going to make sure that you have every tool in your tool chest to be able to become the best or become as good as you can be. So that's
where Kobe surpassed Jordan.
Yes. Yeah.
Where he was like,
as far as like that,
he's like, hey, you want to get better? Call me.
Yes.
And then we'll hook up and I'll help you out.
He learned what Luka Doncic, whatever the hell language he speaks. He learned that so he could speak that to him on the sidelines.
So he could talk shit to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he heard him.
Well, he
his
did that
Croatian
same
or whatever
thing
it is. And he
with-
looked over and he was like, wait, what the fuck did you say? He's like, yeah, that was me, Kobe, the black guy, motherfucker.
Who speaks Spanish, Italian, English.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was great seeing LeBron younger, Dwayne Wade.
When he used to drive to the basket and just like, you know, get his ass beat on the stanchion all the time.
And then Melo too, seeing them all just
Prime Melo was good.
Melo with the braids, with the cornrows.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you watch it?
So I watched a couple of different things. I've been watching 70s Show like every night. You know what I mean? Like since you put me back on it.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is that I mean, and you're like, oh, I'm just catching up to this. I'm like, I've watched it 157,000 times. I know all the storylines, all the characters. I'm like, hey, there's a pinball machine. But so one
at the hub. Yep.
At the hub. So when we came back after watching the comedy show, me and my wife, we watched one episode of the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary, or not documentary, but the show. Did you watch that at all?
No, how was it?
I seen it while I was eating ribs.
Okay. You're not invited back.
It wasn't KFC.
I know. No. It was like there's no ribs and chicken. Like not really. But anyway, yeah. So we watched one episode of that, and then we've had softball since then. We started watching that show, Devil in Ohio.
That's a good one too.
That one we started watching a little bit. My daughter was. I'm sure my daughter's watched the entire series. We watched one episode, then I fell asleep, and then she probably just went and like watched the rest of it by herself. And we watched Hocus Pocus 2. We watched the second version, or the second the sequel or whatever. The funny thing is like just in there, and they're asking me, I'm like, I don't really remember Hocus Pocus 1. They're like,
nope.
"You-
I mean, I grew up with it, but I never really liked it.
No.
But they're like, you watched a bunch of times, and I'm like, yeah, that might be true. So they put it on. I fall asleep, of course, and then they go and put on the
How
second
late
one.
is it that you're watching these movies that you fall asleep?
Anytime.
Doesn't matter. He's dead.
Dude, I'll be 42 in March. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Just a young man.
Yeah, once was young. But yeah, so so that, and then this morning I actually watched a movie called Jexi, Jexi.
Yes,
Have
I've
you
seen it.
that?
It's hilarious.
Oh my
Plug
God.
me in.
So
take me out.
So
Plug
it's
me in.
yes.
It's with Adam Devine.
Adam Devine
From Workaholics.
Gotcha.
And basically he is like this loner guy, like, and
he writes blog posts,
and he loves his phone, like that's his whole life. So he gets a new phone, and instead of having Alexa or Siri or whatever, it has this OS that literally like is just a dick to him all the time. And he's
right. It's
and
like,
he's like, how can I make your life better? And he's like, oh, someone from work wants him to go out to like do kickball, and he's like, oh yeah, I have plans. And he goes through his phone. There's no plans, no calendar, nothing. He's like, oh yeah, sorry, I have something. And then the phone like says, no, you have no plans. You should go hang out with those nice people. And he's like, what the fuck?
Right. And he actually goes.
Yeah, and he tries to get rid of the phone, and he gets a new phone, and it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna follow you wherever you go, dumbass. Like you,
right? And it's like, it's hilarious. And then he meets a girl. So, but it's like,
it's so funny because
what is this called?
It's called Jexi. That's the name of the
Jexi.
assistant.
So
Jexi. It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Okay.
So
It's
it just got to Netflix because it was on Amazon Prime, and that's where I saw it.
Okay, because it's like from 2018. I was like, I don't remember this.
Yeah. It was either I saw it on Amazon Prime first, or I saw it on Hulu. One of the two.
Tubi.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you talked about a Redeem Team. That one's on my list, and another one that's on my list is called Intergalactic.
Oh, with Kid Cudi.
Yeah, Kid Cudi's movie. Funny
That's
enough, because
fantastic. His new album
in
came out.
Jexi, they meet Kid Cudi, and that was a whole thing. So it's kind of like, but yeah, so Intergalactic. It's an animated show, animated movie, and it's about like black relationships and things like that. It's a big Kid Cudi thing.
But his
new album is in the show.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like a music video.
No.
It's just like in the background.
Yeah.
You know,
like
it's
certain pieces.
Do you remember Scanner Darkly?
No.
Oh, Scanner Darkly was Keanu Reeves, and there was a bunch of people, but they acted it out, and they actually took that and then plugged it into a computer and made everything like they computer animated it based on the actual actors, and it's freaky as hell. And that's kind of what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
It's
That's
the
what it
same
reminds me
animation
of.
style. It's the same
Right.
animation style. So yeah, that's. I put it on for about 3 seconds, and I was like, I had a cold all week. I was like, I probably should be stoned when I'm watching this, so I'm gonna hold off until my cold goes away.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
you could, yeah.
Like I'm like,
I was
oh,
just
no.
drinking a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I was
everyone,
enjoying it.
Everyone has their vices.
So.
Oh man! All right. Once again, thank you today to our guest today from the No Water on the Weekend podcast, the newest edition of the 606 family, Stephen Bautista. Thank you so much for being here. Tell the
Thanks
people,
for having me.
Tell the people where they can follow you and where they can follow your show.
So next time we'll have Sean here. We'll get him.
I love
on.
Sean.
Yeah, Sean's on vacation, but you can find us on Instagram. So it's No Water on the Weekend. Weekend is spelled WKND. So you can check us out on there. If you want to see us on TikTok or short clips and stuff like that, you could just type in Straight Function. That's my own handle for that. Do some funny things that I do during the week. Some captions of like the podcast and things like that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. That is it for today. Thank you so much for listening. A big thank you to our sponsors, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Search your keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 at checkout for 15% off of your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your Christmas gifts right now. The Shy Native Radio Podcast is now available on all major platforms. Mike Logic, Ideal, and Throw MC talk about sports, movies, and all types of ill shit. Go and check them out right now. And don't forget to follow Shy Native Entertainment to see when the next installment of Shy Native Nights, which is actually coming up on October 27th at Retro Cafe, 3246 North Central Avenue in Chicago. It's $10 at the door, and it runs from 9 to 1. It is the Halloween costume contest. Sounds by DJ Hunt, and is hosted by Mike Logic. You got a lot of really cool live performances. Ideal, Mike Logic, and Joey Childs, Voorhees, Gold Girl, Chris Dashon, Lyric, Jocelyn Dell, Santee, Gene Ristic, and Zaz, I don't know that, whatever. Anyway, go check them out. Yeah. Once again, Shy Native Nights at Retro Cafe on October 27th for their Halloween costume contest, 3246 North Central. Shout out to Ronesh, Panic Serious Beats, and Custom Made for the beats we played on today's show. Check out paniconthebeat.com for all your merch and gear. One more thing I wanted to mention, Mike Logic and Ideal on that podcast is coming back for the Bulls season. They are back and better than ever. We desperately needed some Bulls attention, and Mike Logic is the biggest basketball nerd that we know. So don't forget to check out 606 Media, Shy Native Entertainment, True Chicago Sports Fans presents on their podcast.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget to check us out on social media. You can find us at True Shy Fans on Twitter and on TikTok. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify. Reach out to us. Hit the DMs. We want to hear from you about your Stirring the Pot, about your movie recommendations, and tell us what you think about the show. You can hit us up at truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. All right, y'all, for Big Z and
Stevie B.
There you go.
Stevie B.
This is E-Rock. We'll see you next time for episode 114. Until then, be good to each other.
For the love of sports.
Peace.
A few moments later.
You have a lot of incest.
That's real.
Shut your mouth. Loverboy.
Nature versus nurture, Lodge. Nature always wins.
I think he's on steroids.
Hasta luego, amigos. That's all. I shouldn't have had those artichoke poppers.